Is set for New Orleans as the Philadelphia Eagles will face the Chiefs after the Chiefs held off the Bills 32-29 and the Eagles crushed the Commanders 55-23. The Cowboys have a new head coach, promoting offensive coordinator Brian Schottenheimer and giving him a 4-year deal, according to ESPN's Todd Archer. The Spurs split in Paris with the Pacers, falling 136-98 Saturday. They return to action Wednesday against the Clippers. I'm Rob Thompson on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
From the studios of San Antonio Sports Star, reaching more sports fans than any station in South Texas. Welcome to the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson. This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Hello, darkness, my old friend. It's the Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Get up. Come on, man. Welcome to the party.
There's Rob.
There's only a couple of teams get to play last.
There's Rob. He's happy.
I'm not happy.
Seems
but
happy.
I've been to this party before, my brother. I'll help you through it. I'll captain you this boat through the river of sadness, the valley, the darkness. You will walk through the other side. Could be worse. You could have a guy named Schottenheimer as your head coach.
I suppose that's true.
We could play what about?
I suppose that's true. It's a Monday, too.
Dude, it ain't that bad, man. We had a good weekend of football. We got Super Bowl licks in 2 weeks.
It was a terrible weekend of football.
It was a great weekend of football.
Like, the first game was just an ass game. It was never competitive.
But I won every bet.
Well, that's good. And then the second game was the worst thing that's ever happened. It's the worst thing that's happened all year. What are you going to do, man? What are you going to do? Chiefs, Eagles. We've got it, Bubba. What everybody was praying for. More.
Another rematch.
Chiefs, Eagles.
Can we just bring, who did the halftime show in Phoenix? I don't remember who that was. Can we bring her back, him back?
Who was that? What was that year? It was Ursher? Or was that last year?
Ursher was last year in Vegas. So 2 years ago.
Was it the hip-hop one?
Was that Shakira? Which one was? No, that was Miami.
Yeah.
Gosh, I cannot remember who 2 years. But whoever it was, let's rerun it. We'll have them back. Oh, no.
Was it The Weeknd?
It might have been The Weeknd.
I remember.
Was it Snoop?
The Weeknd.
I think Snoop was L.A.
Well.
Anyway, let's run that back. We'll do the same thing again. And we'll get these smiling, I don't know, I don't know how to describe Kansas City Chief fan now. I don't know how to put them.
Oh, it was Rihanna.
Oh, it was Rihanna. That's right. Riri.
All right.
Pregnant Riri.
Ella, A.
Remember turned out she was pregnant?
Yeah.
Had a bump. But anyway, the self-entitled Chief fan headed to licks. I don't know when they became the enemy.
Is anybody happy about this?
Well, the majority of the Midwest is, I can tell you that.
I'll tell you what, man. This feels like when your wife, she makes you go to a movie that you know you don't want to go to, and you go anyway because happy wife, happy life, right? And it's like a 4-hour comedy rom-com or like a historical love movie about like time-traveling Scottish people or something just miserable, and you do it, and you're thinking, oh, my God, at least that's over. And then not even 2 years later, the sequel comes out, and she says, remember how fun this was?
I kind of disagree with you, brother, because you're coming to it from sadness. We are in the creation of one of the historical figures of a game. I mean, we are watching Michael Jordan. It is LeBron right after Michael. It is the greatness of a quarterback that just transcends everything else. Everything else is subject to Pat Mahomes. And we get to see that rarely. Luckily, in my life, I've gotten to see Michael and LeBron. And I'm getting to see Brady and Mahomes. And it's funny how they came back to back like that, because it should be 40 years.
We've forgotten Joe Montana existed.
Well, well, you're right. But Joe Montana didn't do this.
But like it until Brady, Joe Montana was the quick answer. Like
he was,
but
but Brady went 20 years and sustained it, and it took that to take over from LeBron, just like it took 20 years of LeBron to take from Michael. And now we've got this Pat Mahomes, who's the rerun of Michael, who has just changed the game from the moment he walked onto the field. There was no waiting, and now we are on the precipice of something where Pat Riley's going to make a whole bunch of money, a three-peat in the NFL. Just given the way the game is structured, how you have to manipulate salary cap and contracts and the coaching carousel to manage to do this 3 years, to go to now 7 consecutive conference championships. We're in the age of greatness, and no matter how good you are, guess what? You're John Stockton, you're Karl Malone, you're a myriad of others that just weren't good enough.
Accidentally turned my mic off. Sorry.
We were hiding the tears.
There's no it's true. I mean,
it sucks.
It is like living in the Jordan era as a Knicks fan or something like that.
I don't know what to do. Or a Pacers fan.
Yeah.
You are. Josh Allen is Reggie.
Yeah.
There's no better application of this. The Pacers were a lovable team. It just wasn't gonna happen, man.
Yep. It sucks, but you're right. I mean, I'm all for greatness. I get it. It's just
yeah. See, and everything we said about Michael, we're saying about Mahomes, both good and bad. Both good and bad. We say that about him. I mean, it's not fair. He gets all the calls. Michael travels.
Yeah.
I mean, it's Pat Mahomes. It's not fair. They get all the calls. He gets to do stuff other guys don't.
Yeah.
It's the same story when you're looking at just unmitigated greatness.
And you know what? Like it is. I get the frustration people have with the refs. Like, it sucks feeling like it's not a fair fight. But at the same time, I knew going into that game they had to go in there and they had to cut their heads off. Like you can't just I mean, I told you this on Friday. If it's a 3-point game late, the Bills probably lose.
Yes,
that's the way it is.
But that's like every great team, but even more so with Mahomes. I mean, it was a valiant effort to be where they were. They had to overcome some other stuff, but in hindsight, it was inevitable. In hindsight, it was. It was just inevitable. On the road, there was just too many things you had to overcome, and you had to maintain greatness and do things against the best defensive coordinator and the best offensive mind that have the best quarterback and the best tight end to ever do it in postseason. I mean, all these crazy things. So many things have to go right.
Didn't go right. This one's going to sting for a while because I really do feel like this was the weakest Chiefs team that they've put out there. And the way Josh played this season, I was like, okay, this is the year. This is the year for it to happen. And, man, it is a kick in the balls to feel like it didn't happen. It
went down the way it was supposed to go down, too.
Yep. It is what it is, man. They were the better team again. And it is hard to beat that team. It is hard to beat that team. So, congrats to them. Listen, man, the Bills had their chances. Were there egregious calls? Yes, but at the same time, Dalton Kincaid drops a ball that should have been, a game-changing play.
I think he and Mark Edwards need to head on a vacation.
Mark Andrews,
Andrews together. They need to go and really discuss glove usage and stickum and all kinds of things that might aid in.
Christian Benford, who went out, probably shouldn't have been playing anyway. Got concussed last week, and I think he fought his ass off to play and got concussed again. But that sucked. But the fact that Kaiir Elam is still your only choice to throw out there, that guy was a first-round pick 3 years ago, and they dread the idea of having to put him on the field. That's just a disaster first-round pick. He's probably not going to be on the team next year. Well, but they can't. They just couldn't. They couldn't cover anybody once Benford went out. So, whatever, man. They
the better team won, man.
The better team won.
Better team won. It sucks to say. I didn't think they could. I didn't think they were going to do it.
It is what it is, man.
But they did.
So, congrats to them. Can't wait to see them in the Super Bowl. I will say this. My biggest beef of all, I hate that Travis Kelce gets away with the crap that he gets away with.
I think that Travis Kelce 15 minutes is running out.
No one else is allowed to taunt the way Travis Kelce taunts. Like, he gets in your face and and then you do it to him and it's a 15-yard flag. It's crazy.
Well, take off those Buffalo glasses, man. Yeah, he's out there, but it's Travis Kelce.
But who cares? Who gives a damn? Like, somebody just needs to whoop Travis Kelce's ass.
Well, I agree with
you
that.
had 2 catches, bro. Calm down.
I felt like that should have happened a couple years ago. And, that's the other thing about it. That's what is, at the end of the day, when you go, how did Kansas City do it without Kelce? And they did it without Kelce. So, better team, man. And I'm not mad at McDonough. I don't think he's a bad coach, but he got out-coached. He lost to a better coach.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, the play call at the end, it was a good call, but who had any idea that Fangio would run that play, Spags out of nowhere? I mean, it was perfect timing, great quarterback, great football game. Just at the end of the day, I just, like at the end of Brady's career, where I just kept going, well, this is the year. It's finally over. This is the year. It's finally over. There's no way he can continue to do it. Here I am again, watching Pat Mahomes headed to the Super Bowl going, there's no way he can continue to do it, but here we are.
Well, you know what? So that's something that I think we need to spend some time on next. What the Chiefs are in public perception and what Chiefs fans think of themselves as is so different. And I think I would like the Chiefs more if they would embrace it. We'll talk about that next. That's the Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star traffic from News Talk 550 KTSA.
Good morning. Looks like we just cleared that accident 1604 eastbound before 281, so traffic now flowing freely. We've got a closure due to road work on 35 on the frontage road, southbound Tupperwine to Weidner. On 35 upper level, southbound that connector to westbound I-10 downtown. We've got some ongoing road work. And looks like a new trouble spot, west side on Highway 90 eastbound, that connector to northbound Loop 410. We've got a wreck. The right lane of that connector ramp is blocked. I'm Debbie Alcacer, KTSA Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by True Green. True Green. Get a golf course quality lawn that's more affordable than you think. Don't wait. Sign up at truegreen.com for 75% off your first service. True Green, the official lawn care treatment provider of the PGA Tour. TrueGreen.com.
Getting your guaranteed maximum refund with TaxSlayer feels like saddling up and chasing down.
Look at that sweet moolah!
That big old cash cow.
Look at all that money!
File with TaxSlayer Simply Free and get your guaranteed maximum refund. Simply Free is available to a limited number of taxpayers. See taxslayer.com for eligibility.
Okay, I have to tell you, I was just looking on eBay where I go for all kinds of things I love, and there it was.
That hologram trading card. One of the rarest, the last one I needed for my set. Shiny like the
designer handbag of my dreams. One of a kind. eBay had it, and now everyone's asking, ooh, where'd you get your
windshield wipers? eBay has all the parts that fit my car. No more annoying, just beautiful.
Whatever you love, find it on eBay. eBay, things people love.
I'm Jeff Davis. For the past 2 seasons of college football, Davis Law Firm has teamed up with one of the best QBs in the game to make winning plays for injured Texans.
Quinn Ewers, proud Texas quarterback here. While I'm working on the field, the team at Davis Law Firm will be helping Texans injured in car, truck, and 18-wheeler wrecks get the verdicts and settlements they deserve. I know we'll both be bringing home plenty of W's. That's why I team up with my buddy, Jeff Davis of Davis Law Firm. Want more? Call the Force.
Davis Law Firm, San Antonio.
Getting your guaranteed maximum refund with TaxSlayer feels like saddling up and chasing down.
Look at that sweet moolah!
That big old cash cow.
Look at all that money!
File with TaxSlayer Simply Free and get your guaranteed maximum refund. Simply Free is available to a limited number of taxpayers. See taxslayer.com for eligibility.
Progressive knows finding your new home was a dream come true. You wanted a walk-up with central air and a skylight, and you found it. Now, every Friday night, you get to fall asleep to the sound of your downstairs neighbors' dance parties. Progressive can't save you from your noisy neighbors, but we can save you money when you bundle your home and auto with us. Get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers not available in all states.
You know the Roo Pub has proven to be the best place to watch any big game with those 3 massive 170-inch screens and TVs all around. Football, basketball, all the fights. And when you show up at the Roo Pub, show up hungry. The food is fantastic. Open daily at 11. Great for lunch, great for dinner, great for late at night, and certainly the best place to watch the game. Just down from the big blind, the Roo Pub, right next to the Angry Elephant, 281 in Redland Road. We'll see you at the Roo.
It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
What are you doing in there?
What's going on in the control?
I don't know, but everything was messed up when I came in. I'm like readjusting everything.
Oh, my God.
I love the gin blossoms as much as the Nets. But
They went
wow.
from that we had no during the break. Like Vic turned up the commercials like really loud, and I was
Yeah.
like, "Whoa, man!" Okay, so he turns everything all the way down,
and then blast,
and then I couldn't hear anything, and I was like, "What's going on here?" And then all of a sudden,
Yeah,
it's like, boom!
Yeah, that was my bad. It was the computer here. I'm trying to reprogram everything the way it's supposed to be.
Poor Vic. Vic walked in this morning to a dead control room. Just basically everything.
It happens.
It was.
I don't know. I'm tired of it.
Well,
what am I supposed?
I imagine that's exactly how I felt when I woke up this morning.
See,
Vic.
you
It's
poor
just-
bastards.
I felt,
It's a fine Monday, man.
I felt dead inside. Dead inside. Claymore is suddenly a Chiefs fan, and it makes me sick.
Well, you know, Claymore, I know for a long time, is, you know, basically at the end of the day, a Cowboy fan, a Dallas fan. You know, so he's used to jumping on bandwagons.
Yeah, it's gross.
So he, you know,
But-
he's got that hurdle speed.
The thing I hate most about the way Claymore is playing this is that he, like, every time there was a bad call, he's like, "Oh, miss me with that ref stuff. It's too easy. But it's like, yes, it is easy, but it's also real. And if you don't think it's real, you're not watching."
Well, okay. I want to tell you something before you get off on your rant.
Okay.
As we start looking at the Kansas City football team and the Chiefs, the comparison between the Chiefs and the UT Longhorns is pretty freaking close. Pretty, right
Except
there.
the Chiefs win.
Well, over the last 2 years, when you talk about the Texas program and you think of the calls that Texas has gotten that other teams haven't, that have that helped them through the comparison to Texas fan and Kansas City fan, it's very much the same. Very much the same, because just like Texas fan doesn't get the arrogance that they have, Kansas City fan doesn't either. They don't get how arrogant you are. You're Professor Umbridge you're just the church lady.
And the thing is, and this is one thing that I tried when I was in Houston, I told Astro fan, just embrace what you are. Just own it and be like, I don't care what anybody else thinks.
Be a Yankee, man.
Or the Dodgers.
Or a Dodger.
And
just
somebody
says,
says,
I'll buy a title.
"Oh, yeah, you bought a title?" Just be
nice.
like, yeah,
I bought
and
it.
guess what? When the history books are written, it's going to say L.A. Dodgers,
Yeah, I
World
bought it.
Series champions.
It's pretty. I'm going to buy another one, too.
Like, the idea that you could be a Chiefs fan and not think the Chiefs are villains is wild to me.
Because they're lovable villains. They're the grinning villain. They're the preacher. They're the TV preacher. Where you look at it, I think they're doing good, but man, look how they're doing it.
Travis Kelce's not lovable.
Well, he kind of is. I mean, let's not kid ourselves.
Oh my
mean,
God.
there's a reason why he's there. We've just run its time. I mean, the time limit on this crap is about done. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Claymore says, I'm not on any bandwagon, just enjoying AJ's suffering and being wrong. What's funny is I wasn't even wrong. Like, I expected this to come. You didn't hear me pick the Bills to beat the Chiefs. I assumed that they probably wouldn't. I just didn't want it to be like that.
You felt like it was going to happen. And it should have happened. But at the end of the day, it was even more reinforced that there are tides in this universe that are beyond control. It wasn't fixed. It was imminent. You know, it wasn't like there was a single call where a ref goes, this is the time. But I do feel like coming into the game that everybody was really aware. You know, we got a three-peat possibility here, guys. You know that, right? We could do something that hadn't happened in this league in 50, 40 years. We could do something if we do this right, because we're going to end up with not the best two teams in the Super Bowl. We can feel comfortable saying that the injuries and the timing and a lot of stuff played into not the best and most talented Super Bowl we could have gotten, most intriguing. So what do we got for the next 2 weeks? Three-peat and the end of this Kansas City bubble. Let's blow this thing up as big as we can get it, and Super Bowl Sunday and Super Bowl licks. This bubble bursts one way or the other. Three-peat, whatever, but from now on, Chiefs are on the downside. You know what? They reached the acme. This is it. And we go the other side.
I just wish that instead of pretending like you're not getting calls or things aren't breaking your way, that they would just own it and say, you know what? Yeah. And when you reach a certain level, you get those calls. And it's true, but like, don't pretend like it's not happening. Don't pretend like everyone else is crazy. You know, like that's the part that blows my mind is like Chiefs fans will be like, "What do you mean? That it was clear." And I'm like, "What?
Well,
that can't be real."
AJ,
but they really think that.
Even paranoid people have enemies.
This is the Chiefs are villains. The Chiefs are villains. They are, Rob.
Well, they don't know they're villains.
They are,
which is the worst kind of villain, because they willfully ignore the fact that everything goes their way, that they have every possible advantage, from the swiftiness to the podcasting Kelseys, to Mahomes and all that Mahomes is, to their fat, lovable coach. I mean, they are literally made for TV profit.
And I'm not saying, but when I say they're villains, I'm not saying that they're any less of a dynasty. They're great. But the Patriots were the same way. The Patriots were absolutely villains, and everyone kind of generally accepted it for whatever reason. And I think when the Chiefs won the first one, they weren't villains.
No, gosh, we were happy to see him, because no more grumbling Belichick, and Mahomes was happy-go-lucky, and Chief fan was truly Jethro coming off the farm. You know, they're stumbling around Miami like they didn't know what to do, how to act. So, yeah, it was a breath of fresh air, but Jethro coming off the farm has now become this, like, hillbilly syndicate that you're like, this has gotten out of hand.
I'll give you another example. The first time the Warriors won, I was so excited for them because I loved watching them play. Like I especially even when Mark Jackson was coaching that team, I would stay up late to watch the Warriors play the West Coast game because it was just beautiful basketball. And they won, and I was like, "Oh, this is great. This is awesome for them." By the time they won their last one, they were villains.
Well, that's
like Draymond's punching people in the balls. It's like, yeah, you start to after and maybe it's you see it enough that you start to notice all the little things. It's like when you're dating a girl at first, it's wow, everything's great. This is really wonderful, and then you start to see her without her makeup on, and the smells emanate from the bathroom, and it's like, oh my God, she's not perfect.
There's a line from Batman, I forget which one. Like, if you're a hero long enough, you eventually die a villain. I mean, you can't be a hero that long because you start the things you got to do to be a hero turn villainous.
Yes,
and I think the Chiefs have become, despite best efforts to prove otherwise, you can't be this good that's long without crushing a few toes and making a few people, bending a few rules. It just doesn't happen like that.
Well,
sorry, man. Sorry, dude.
Corey says AJ's on one today. He just declared the Chiefs are villains. The Bills are a
they
cursed
are,
franchise.
dude.
The Bills are a cursed franchise, but it doesn't take away from the fact that the Chiefs are villains. And
the Bills are not a cursed franchise. Cursed franchises do not make the AFC Championship game. Cursed franchises don't get Josh Allen. I know poverty. This ain't poverty, brother.
When do you know poverty?
I know poverty. I know Aggie poverty. I know Cowboy poverty.
Oh, tell me more about the Troy Aikman and Roger Staubach poverty
How long
years.
ago was that?
Did it exist?
Well, yeah, but dude, even as a Spur fan, even that last ring seems so long ago. It doesn't even seem to real. You know what I mean? It's there and it's in this box. Titles, what have you done for me lately? And if I was a Bill fan, dude.
Someone said to me yesterday, like, I don't know if they were trying to make me feel better.
I'm not trying to make you feel better. I'm telling you the truth.
He was like, hey, it could be worse. You could be a Ravens fan. And I was like,
now shut up, Raven fan.
Like, what?
You don't know poverty.
You've got 2 rings in the last 20 years. That's
like when you talk to people, have you ever waited to pay the pink bill because that's the one you pay? Those are the ones, that's poverty.
I think people...
I know poverty, man. I know Cowboy poverty. I know what it's like to go into a season going, I ain't got a prayer. I ain't got a prayer no matter what happens, no matter how well things go. I ain't got a prayer. You haven't had to do that in 5 years. You haven't had to do that in 5 years. So I'm not here to make you feel better, but buck up, Cowboy. It could be a whole lot worse.
But also, for 5 years, I'm Charlie Brown running at the football.
That. I mean, it never ends well, but only one team can say that, man. I hate to sound like it sucks balls, but dude, you were playing into January.
Yeah, but what's the goal?
Well, only one team gets that, man. I wish I was going into next year with Josh Allen as my quarterback.
Never done it.
I'm going into next year.
So don't tell me you know poverty.
I do know poverty.
When there's
2 titles.
Look how many Super Bowls are listed on that one stupid freaking football. That Cowboy, like
man,
it doesn't matter when
like
it was.
The British taking pride in what King Henry VIII did.
Let me see one in my life, Rob.
Well, actually,
one in my life.
I did.
I'll be 45 years old this year.
I don't know, man.
I'm just asking for one. One.
Yeah.
I don't even care about any other sports. I don't have any other teams that like I am emotional about. I don't like. You know what? I liked watching the Golden Knights win when I was there in Vegas.
Do I have a 12th man?
But
fill out form for you.
It's not the same
because you can sign up as an Aggie 12th man because you sound a lot like what we go through at every meeting. Let's see. I only want one.
I just want one.
I only see that's actually our motto.
We
only want one.
I just want one, man.
We have one.
It's on my. Well, we have 2. Well, kinda. But we only want one.
Why can't the Bills just make one up? Like,
well, you should. You should. See, what you have to do now
hang
is
a banner.
Did you know, by the way, that back in 1939, the Buffalo Bills won the national championship?
Then in 1916.
It was 1916. It's a little documented, but trust us on this.
I'm pretty
We
sure.
were by far
They
the
got
best team.
No, I just want to
Put
see
it on
one.
a shirt. It can't be fake.
I just want to see one. I don't ask for anything else.
I'll make the Wikipedia annotation, and you go ahead and announce it.
If they can go back to being a 3-14 franchise. I don't care. I just want one time. Give me one nice thing.
You can't have nice things.
I can't.
It's
I
the
really
mafia.
can't.
It's the mafia.
Okay.
There's one of the things that's going to come out of this game, and it's pretty typical of a Chiefs Josh Allen game, is a screwy ass play. And we had Allen not getting on the field in overtime, so we're going to fix that.
Mm-hmm.
We got to fix this tush push on the 1 yard line, and the refs telling us that, you know what, by decree, this funny business happens again. I'm just going to award a touchdown. When did this happen?
You know what? Well, we'll talk about that next. There was another game yesterday. We'll talk about that. Lots to discuss. Morning Huddle, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Dr. Jacob Torres is my physician. He not only we began our professional relationship as he was my weight loss physician. But as you know, the Institute for Functional Health is a full-service general practitioner. Not only do they have the physicians you need, they got the DOs, and they got a variety of things going on inside the building. And that's why so many patients come and stay at the IFF. And now I began with the weight loss program. I walked in that door weighing about 300 pounds. I didn't think I'd ever lose weight. Didn't really want to be quite honest. I just kind of figured everything that goes along with being fat was just part of getting old. And I learned really quickly, no, it was the weight, not the age. He told me that if I'll follow a few simple steps and ask and do what he requires, that the weight will come off. It won't be easy, but the commitment is there, and we'll see what we can do. 8 years later, I'm still with Dr. Torres, down about 80 pounds. Now, people go, what, only 10 pounds a year? Well, think about that. I am down and have stayed down over 8 years. I'm never going to put that weight back on because Dr. Torres literally changed my life. If you have been overweight for too long or you're just tired of the way you look in the mirror, I want you to call Dr. Torres today. Find out why he's been so successful. The number's 210-468-1891. Now, his website is IFFhealth.com. Let me tell you, it really tells you why his outlook and the way he practices medicine is so different from others. The functional health is key to that. Do yourself a favor. Call Dr. Torres in the IFF today. Change your life and come on by and thank me later.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star traffic from News Talk 550 KTSA.
Good morning. As you head into your early morning commute, we do have a trouble spot on the west side on Highway 90 eastbound. That connector to get onto Loop 410 headed northbound, we've got a wreck. Right lane of the connector ramp block. 35 on the frontage road, southbound Tupperwine to Weidner. That's road work. We've got a closure. On I-10 upper level eastbound, the off-ramp to Calabria, that road work blocks the exit ramp. And 35 upper level southbound connector to westbound I-10, some ongoing road work, and that has the roadway reduced to one lane. I'm Debbie Alcacer, KTSA, Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Indeed.com. You just realized your business needed to hire someone yesterday. How can you find amazing candidates fast? Easy. Just use Indeed. Start at Indeed.com/credit.
Score big with LS Tractors at Dietz Tractor in Seguin, the MVPs of the field. LS Tractors, the star quarterbacks of farming, perfect for tough tasks for farm, ranch, and landscaping. Dietz Tractors has your all-star coaching staff for top-notch equipment. They're not just selling tractors, they're building lasting relationships with unmatched dealer support for parts and maintenance. It's a winning strategy that goes beyond the final whistle. Don't miss the game-winning move. 0% financing available with approved credit on LS Tractors. Start blue, stay blue at Dietz Tractor in Seguin.
Divorce is a fight. If you don't want to get knocked out of the ring by your spouse, then you need an aggressive law firm with a stable of hard-hitting attorneys at your disposal. Contact Barton & Associates today. Visit TexasDivorce.com. That's TexasDivorce.com.
Presenting a Gain Flings love story. Dear love of my life, we were on the 12B bus this morning when I caught a whiff. A scent so fresh, so life-changing, I had to find its source. Alas, I didn't know if you were the woman in the pink freshly washed cardigan or the retired mailman next to me, but I knew one of you was my soulmate. Ah, the scent of Gain Flings. Try Gain Flings with OxyBoost and Febreze.
Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds. With that kind of money, you could go big time. The next time you're out to dinner with friends, you can order the shrimp cocktail for the table. And maybe you'll realize it only comes with 4 shrimp after you've already given away 3, but that one shrimp will be so good. And if you switch and save hundreds, you could get shrimp all the time. Switch to Progressive and you could save big time. For shrimp. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states. Potential savings will...
Jackson Hewitt makes taxes feel like a yacht rock song.
Please, give me my biggest tax refund, please. You, me, and a lifetime accuracy guarantee.
And now get $100 just to try Jackson Hewitt. Does your tax person do that?
Say goodbye to that no guarantee tax guy.
Ready to sail through tax season? Go to Jackson Hewitt and you'll be... Limited time offer for new clients. Participating locations only. Terms at jacksonhewitt.com.
George gets justice. At George Salinas Injury Lawyers, we are the ones you can trust. With over 100 years of combined experience, we are committed to helping people in our local community. Get George Salinas Injury Lawyers and put our experience to work for you and your case. Call George Salinas Injury Lawyers today at 210-225-0909 or visit getgeorge.com. George gets justice. GetGeorge.com.
The NFL lives right here. 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Morning Huddle 94.1. Claymore says Rob tried to call me a bandwagon guy. No, I'm just a football fan rooting against the Eagles.
You're a Dallas fan,
You were
man.
rooting for my misery which in turn, Claymore, you know what that makes you? A villain.
Well,
Like, imagine that, like saying, oh, I just wanted AJ to be miserable. I wanted his team to lose so I could watch him be sad.
Dallas fan.
That's such a villainous mindset.
If you're a Dallas fan, you've tasted success, what, twice over the last 30 years? You had one title with the Mavs and one with the Rangers.
And the Stars.
Well, that was early 2000s.
Yeah.
I mean, it's been a long time.
Well, you said
for that,
30
too.
years,
Well,
but
20 years. But, I mean, Dallas fan and their leased BMW and their fake Rolex, they're accustomed to long droughts. He's miserable, too.
Well,
he's trying to pull you down. I know what it's like, man. I'm with you.
It is what it is. I try not to root for the misery of others, but
Oh, you have to in this situation.
but I'm also not a villain.
Well,
Which,
no, you're the lovable losers right now.
Yeah.
And if you'd won yesterday, you would have been like heroes to all. And look at smug Kelsey.
I also
Just look at him.
fully understand that if the Bills won that game and then won the Super Bowl and won 3 more Super Bowls in the next 5 or 6 years, the Bills would then become the villains.
Well, yeah, you want to live long enough to be that villain. You want to be the hero for so long that you become that. I mean, that's the best possible life because you've done it for so long. But I think you're just stuck in the wrong time, man.
I am,
unfortunately.
man.
But the good news is Josh is a young man. There's still time.
Yeah. But Josh's career is going to run parallel with Patrick Mahomes, so that's the unfortunate thing of it.
And every sentence you write about Josh Allen's career, Pat Mahomes will be the period.
Yeah. And you know what? I made this analogy last night, and I don't know how many people out there will get it, but I'll make it again. I used to play Mike Tyson's Punch-Out when I was a kid, and Mike Tyson's Punch-Out took forever to get through all the guys. And at the end, you fight Mr. Sandman, and he's very difficult to beat. And then you fight Super Macho Man, who, if you beat Super Macho Man, it was like, wow, I just felt like I beat the end boss, but he wasn't the end boss. You had to fight Mike Tyson.
Hence the name of the game.
When I was a kid, I would play this game, and it would take me hours and hours, and I would beat Super Macho Man, and it would be time to fight Mike Tyson. And my friends would be there, and they'd hype me up like, oh, you're going to get him this time. You can get him this time. Remember the timing. Remember to do this. And then Mike Tyson would beat the snot out of me every time. Patrick Mahomes is Mike Tyson. It makes you feel like the whole season was a waste, because at the end of it, all this hoping, all this, all the investment of time you make in a season, and at the end, Mike Tyson just knocks you out. And it's like, you knew it was going to happen when you turned the game on. You knew what was going to happen, but you played anyway, and the result was the same.
Yeah, and before Mahomes, it was Brady.
Yep.
It was Nick Saban in college football. I mean, there's always the Death Star, man. I mean, this one is prolonged, and we are in the presence of true generational greatness. And the fact that we've gotten them so close together. You normally have to wait 5-10 years for the next guy shows up. And we've had them back to back in both of the most preeminent sports in our country, in the NBA and the NFL, where we've had the luxury of essentially 30, 40 years of extraordinary greatness between two guys in the NFL and two guys in the NBA, the likes of which we'd been years prior to that. Mahomes is legendary, dude. I mean,
no doubt.
And when you look back and you're talking to your grandkids, you're going to talk about Mahomes and Brady in the same breath, where even 2 years ago, I wouldn't have thought that.
Shay says Josh choked. That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard. Like, watch the game, bro. Watch the game. Dating back to 1972, teams that have scored 4 touchdowns and committed 0 turnovers are 85-6. 4 touchdowns, 0 turnovers. The last 2 playoff losses at Arrowhead are 2 of those 6.
I'm about to say, of those 6,
the Bills have the last 2,
and
they're both against Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, there's a lot of weeping great teams there.
The 13-second game and then that game. I mean, games that...
Okay, well, the good news is that 13-second game changed the rules. I mean, literally, we looked at that. We can't have Josh Allen watching the end of a game ever, so we'll do that. this game, it's going to change the rules.
No, I think the other game, the Eagles game, they're going to change the rules.
I mean, this weekend we're coming out of rules changes because we have to find more competitive ways to finish this. For the Bills, what do you do now, man? Nothing, right? All we can do is buckle up. I think continuity is key here, and go back to work, man. You don't go into offseason looking for, what do you do? There's no changes required. You just do what's there, expect the normal attrition, and go back to work, man, and hope somebody else beats the Chiefs before you get there.
No, you're right. I think I'm gonna have to start cheering for Joe Burrow to be in the playoffs, just on the opposite side of the bracket, and let Joe Burrow knock out Patrick Mahomes and see if the Bills can take their chances. But then also, at the same time, that win wouldn't feel as sweet. You know, there is something to you want to be the one to knock them off, but I don't know. Beggars can't be choosers, I suppose.
Don't let revenge get in the way of a good win.
I will say this. We've got – I'm for – and I've been for this for a long time. The idea that now we still don't have the technology to know if a guy's got a first down or not.
Oh, we have the technology. We've just chosen not to use it.
They have these microchips in the football that tell you how many spins a football makes on its way to the receiver. Like, what are the what percentage chance somebody has of catching this football? Like,
we have the
what's
technology.
the top speed?
No, we can tell. We know. We could figure out exactly. We have the Cyclops in tennis. We can tell you exactly where that ball is within a millimeter on a football field. There's technology to absolutely show us that.
Yet we are now still doing this dinosaur thing where in a scrum, one ref comes in from one side, one comes in from the other, and they're a yard and a half off, and they just arbitrarily decide which one of us is right.
I remember John Madden always talking about left eye, right eye. You know, we had the left eye, right eye scenario last night. Two refs coming from different directions using different eyes. It was not fair. That's not the right term. It was not a just outcome on that
And
call.
again, I don't know if the result may have not changed. I don't know. I really don't.
He
because
didn't get it.
He did get
I'm
it.
sorry, he did get it.
But
He got it.
But I don't know. I don't know if they would go down and score there. I can't say that.
But we know he got a first down. I have no doubt.
And the
He got
Bills
it.
probably would have found a way to screw it off anyway.
Yeah.
That's just that's because again, like you said, Patrick Mahomes is inevitable. But I would have liked to see it.
So there's a fix there. We've just chosen for whatever reason
Why,
not to.
though?
I don't know. There's a fix for everything out there if we choose to put up with the ramifications.
You can now challenge in baseball and let a robot decide if it was a ball or a strike.
Yes. You know, when that other league, the Alliance League, that ball was chipped, and the idea was eventually to be just like that.
Yeah.
So that they would eliminate the need for referees and left eye, right eye. And it was more about Vegas. They wanted the truest possible outcome. And the NFL has not decided to go that route.
They can't control that route.
Well, therein lies the rub, right?
They can't.
Conspiracy theorists.
You know who the real villain is? The NFL.
Well, the fix was in.
The Chiefs are just the sub-villain. Roger Goodell's the real villain.
The Chiefs are just a patsy. They're Lee Harvey.
I can't imagine. I mean, all the grief that the NFL has taken over, like the officiating in Chiefs games. Like, would they go through all of that just to let the Eagles win this game? Like,
they might.
I think the Chiefs are inevitable.
Well, there is that sense for a lot of reasons. But, yeah, they're riding the tide. You're playing 13, 14 guys when you play the Chiefs. It's just part of playing the greatest of all time, playing GOATs. The end of Brady's career, if you breathed heavy on him, it was roughing the quarterback. I mean, yeah, that's just what happens with greatness. It is preserved, it is protected, and it's prolonged because it sells tickets. And for the next 2 weeks, the number of times Pat Riley's going to get, what do you figure, 3 cents every time three-peat is mentioned in any kind of shirt or anything? I mean, just think how much the NFL is going to hype the fact that they have the opportunity to do something we haven't seen in 40 years.
Yeah, I think it's so funny because I'm finding myself, I don't want to cheer for the Kansas City Chiefs to win the Super Bowl, but I also don't want to cheer for Jalen Hurts. And I don't like the Eagles in general, but like the idea that
I'm cheering for him.
The biggest troll of all, RG3, got on last night, was like, that settles it. Jalen Hurts is the best quarterback in the NFC. And it's like, Jalen Hurts literally wouldn't win a playoff game for any other football team. Like, he's just he's in the only situation where he can be a winner, and I hate it. But also, like, which goes to the conversation you were wanting to talk about, this tush push. I think they're going to do away with it.
I think they need to. Or, I hate when you get rid of something because it's unstoppable. But, there was a time when you just couldn't stop Shaq in the paint. The NBA goes, you know what? We're going to have to allow a zone because we can't stop this. And you can't have an unstoppable weapon. You can't have one team with a nuclear bomb and the other 31 without. I mean, this thing works for whatever reason. And it's created an unfair imbalance to the point where the Commanders look at this and go, it is worth 4 consecutive offsides plays to stop what is imminent. What do we have to lose? Because there's no other way to stop this but to send dudes missiling over the top of the line of scrimmage. And then we can start talking about, we've changed the kickoff for the general health of the football player. Well, the only answer to the tush push is the middle linebacker launching himself 3 feet off the ground, helmet first, over the center. That's the only way we can figure out how to stop this. Well, if that's the only thing we can come up with, we got to get rid of it.
Well, think about it. Why it's a penalty if a defender pushes another defender to try to block a kick. Like, you can't even push your teammate. Why can you push your teammate in this situation? Like,
well, you didn't used to. I mean, it was. This is wrong. I mean, it's not wrong. They have found a glitch. I mean, let's give them credit. It's the James Harden three-point run to the side shot where you go, well, I didn't know we could do that, but I guess under the letter of the rule we can, a letter of the law. We need to change the law. It's not because of what they're doing is wrong. To stop it requires something so physically. I mean, look at what we had to do. The only thing Dan Quinn, one of the great defensive minds in football, could come up with to stop this was literally hit the quarterback as he gets the snap.
Yeah.
Because if you don't do it any other way, you can't stop it. It's a wedge-like rugby. They have the leverage. So now it becomes a player health issue. If you want to parse it that number 4, Luvu, if he actually makes that hit, he could have knocked both himself and Hurts out because that's the intent.
Yeah, I think they are going to go away from that. I think they're going to. I know they've already looked at it once and said we're going to keep doing it. I think they're going to finally say enough.
Well, okay. On the next step of that, did anybody have any idea the referee could just say, all right, that's a tutty?
That's the most absurd thing I've ever heard.
What?
I've been watching football my whole life. I've never heard that rule. That doesn't sound like any sort. That sounds like something they would do in the XFL.
I know. What the hell?
Like, they're like, yeah, you know what? You guys keep getting penalties. All right, touchdown.
I'm sick of this crap. It's like a soccer ref you see him writing stuff down. What are you writing down? And how much time's left? Only I know. I'm the king.
I decide.
Like, okay.
Yeah, and they're like, they've been warned of unsportsmanlike conduct penalty, and then the next one, it's like, they've been advised we can award a touchdown.
And everybody went, you can't? What? You're the king now? No. That needs to be fixed.
I forget who the ref guy in that game was. I think
Blake
Sterator.
Kleitman?
Yeah, Sterator I think was in the late game. I don't know who it was, but he like the studio ref was like, oh yeah, it's basically saying like it's imminent, basically like an imminent domain thing, like where they can just do whatever the hell we want at the end of the day.
And I'm sure the whole booth went, what? A ref at some point could go, you know what? Let's give him a touchdown. Kick it off.
What the hell?
You know, they're cheating over there, and I can't stop it.
Can't be real.
But on the other side of that, why, given the way this is set up, if I'm Washington and Dan Quinn, what's wrong with 17 consecutive offsides? It's just first and an inch, first and half an inch, first and a quarter of an inch, first and an eighth of an inch, first and a 16th of an inch, a 32nd. I mean, why would I have any reason to stop? I'll just keep jumping off sides until you make a mistake.
I mean, that's the way football has always been, though.
Well, I mean, Dan Quinn also found the glitch. Just keep jumping, dude. Maybe eventually we'll time it right, and you'll knock him off and knock him on his ass, and we'll stop it. But until then, keep jumping, brother, because what does it cost us? Nothing.
And it's so lame because the Eagles could just hand it to Saquon Barkley, and he'd probably score anyway. And by the way, when the Bills were doing it last night, It's like, why is James Cook standing on the side? Why don't you just hand him the ball?
I think, that when we really get into the debrief of the Bills and we start looking at why, reasons, not excuses, I think they'll look back and figure we probably should have run Cook a little bit more.
Yeah, I think the guy that was averaging like 7 yards a carry. I would have kept giving him the ball.
Even though they were running the ball on those plays with Josh Allen, I think the use of Cook would have mattered a bit more because those are like the body blows. You just keep hitting them in the ribs until something pops, and they never hit them in the ribs.
John says that ref call a TD rule would have helped Texas when Ohio State did the pass interference 3 times in a row.
You guys just throw a bunch of bottles on the field, and the ref goes, you know what? Double secret probation. There was a secret codicil no one knew that I'm holding right here that says Texas touchdown.
Yeah. Well, again, if they can decide how the games are, if they can decide a touchdown, what are we doing?
What else is next? That needs to go away. I don't want a referee, even if it's for the good, because that was yesterday for the good, because that was 5 minutes of the silliest part of the NFL. That was just silly.
What's crazy is I'd never heard that rule before, and as soon as I heard it, I was like, what?
And then we just kind of carried on. Everybody went, wait a minute, a ref could have just given him a touchdown. What else can he do?
It's like when you find out all the power the government really has over you, and you go, what?
Come on, libertarian.
I mean, it really is. It's kind of like it wakes you up to like, oh my God, the government can do whatever they want. If you don't pay your HOA fees,
that's not the government.
They can take away your house.
Yeah, that's not the government. That's a bunch of lawyers.
No, I know, but I'm just saying, like on a separate note, like it's like when you find out, like there's some fine print here that's wild.
Yeah, and Chief fan is like the president of the HOA.
We can just give a touchdown if we want.
What?
Excuse me?
I beg your pardon? I
didn't read that in the fine print.
And if you can, why haven't you done it in the past?
Oh, my God. I'm going to be like walking around like, oh, what if they just give them a touchdown?
I want to be a ref and just out of nowhere call a touchdown. You know what? Touchdown. I got a flight. They're going to score anyway. Let's move on.
Why not if you're a ref? It's not like you're going to be held accountable. It's not like you've got to sit down at a press conference and answer questions.
Well, last night, 3 minutes to go in the Eagle game, they're up by 24. Just whistle it. It's over. I'm calling it.
Yeah.
I'm the ref. You guys didn't know I could do that? It's in that last chapter, the one that's not published. Yeah, I'm calling it.
Mike says, shame on Eagles not letting Saquon break the all-time rushing record. First of all, I don't think they care now. I think Saquon is happy to be where he's at.
But I will agree with him. It won't happen today. It won't happen tomorrow. It won't happen at the end of the season. Even if they get the ring, there'll be a morning when Saquon wakes up and goes, damn it. Damn it. I should have, could have.
I mean, but who knows if he's in the same position right now if he does.
There's all of that. I completely agree. But
I mean, you talk about a guy they've taken some tread off his tires this year.
You're right. Everything you're saying is right. The pursuit of the ring is absolutely the thing. But I will tell you, in the next 5 years, it'll happen. He'll be looking at numbers. He'll be looking at highlights. There'll be a football life of Saquon Barkley. And they're going to interview him, and they go, that season back in 24-25, when you had the chance, it was right there. Do you regret it? And it'll be, some years back, and he'll have a ring, maybe not. And he'll say no, but in his heart, he'll go, damn it, what were we thinking?
You want to know, I really think they probably asked Saquon.
Oh, I hope he said no, because that was the team move. That's the right thing. Keep your legs.
Because one of those games where he was running for like 180, they were like, do you want to go out there and get it? And he's like, no, let them kids run.
Right. And the way,
I think that's just his mentality.
But you know it. Everybody's had that chance to do something, and you go, nah, I'm not going to do it. You don't need it. But in hindsight, you look back and go, damn, I probably should have done that. I probably should have swung. I probably should have stepped in there just't I'll never get that again. In the pantheon of my greatness, I'll never get that again.
Yeah, but you know what? You know what he'd end up like? Remember when they gave up the sack to Michael Strahan?
Oh, yeah.
And Mark Gastineau now hates Brett Favre. That would have been
And part of that is you knew Favre was going to get it. It's just how he got it. But see, the difference between this and that is Saquon ain't going to be over 2,000 again. Maybe he could. I don't know. Henry's managed it. But chances of coming back to this party are pretty slim.
Oh, yeah. No doubt. All right. 1 hour down. 3 more hours of AJ bitching about the NFL.
We're going to get there's 8 stages. We're going to try to get you to maybe just anger. If we can get you to anger through the 8 stages. If you can leave mad. That's all we want.
I can't even believe some of the stuff I'm reading on this brigade bar. You guys can't be serious. Can't be serious. Let's be serious people today, guys. Let's be serious. For once, serious people.
Sadness sucks.
Morning Huddle 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, KTFM Floresville.
Ahead of the field and throws it down with a right hand.
Your home for the NBA.
This report is sponsored by Thomas J. Henry Injury Attorneys, available 24/7.
Since 1993, Thomas J. Henry dedicated himself to building a firm that injured clients can trust and respect. A firm backed by a track record of success and a commitment to our clients. If you've been injured, trust Thomas J. Henry. San Antonio, Texas.
Brought to you by Total Wine & More. With the lowest prices for over 30 years, you'll always find what you love and love what you find only at Total Wine & More. Drink responsibly. B21.
Hi, I'm attorney Steve Benke. If you've made the decision to divorce, you need an experienced attorney who can help. I've helped many people get through divorce, custody, child support, and alimony problems. Call me. I'm attorney Steve Benke.
210-DIVORCE or go to BenkeLaw.com.
Someone had a birthday.
Yep, 50. Can't believe it.
50 years of wisdom.
Great segue. We have health news, a CDC update.
Pneumococcal vaccination is now recommended for adults 50 or older. Says here, we're over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia than adults under 50.
I don't love those odds.
Same. Look what I found. Pfizer's Prevnar 20 is proven to help protect adults against pneumococcal pneumonia and invasive pneumococcal disease in just 1 dose, and millions have already gotten it.
Continued approval may depend on a supportive study. Don't get Prevnar 20 if you have a severe allergy to its ingredients. A weakened immune system may lower your response. Common side effects include injection site pain and swelling, fatigue, headache, muscle, and joint pain. For full prescribing information, please call 1-855-213-2138, visit Prevnar20.com, or talk to your doctor or pharmacist.
I'm on Prevnar20.com now, scheduling my appointment.
Good idea. And happy 50th.
The Gomez Law Firm has been San Antonio's trusted law firm for 50 years. We have Jose with the Gomez Law Firm here with us today. Jose, tell us about the cases you all specialize in.
We do ride-sharing cases, we do 18-wheeler cases, work injuries. We will be happy to take a look at and see if we can help.
If you or your family have been injured in an accident or hit by a company vehicle, you need to visit joegomezlaw.com. Call the Gomez Law Firm at 736-4040.
Progressive knows finding your new home was a dream come true. You wanted a colonial with high ceilings, hardwood floors, and a peaceful neighborhood. And you found it. Now, every Saturday at 6 a.m., you get to wake to the sound of your neighbor's leaf blower. Progressive can't save you from your noisy neighbors, but we can save you money when you bundle your home and auto with us. Get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers not available in all states.
Hey, nice job, Pete. I like those clean lines. Fellas, do we have anyone that can get to Greenport today?
At Corey's Landscaping, the staffing plan is in the weeds.
Anthony, we need that leaf blower over here. 3 more new customer requests just came in. Who wants to work some overtime?
He needs to dig up quality landscapers, and fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, it's easier for talented candidates to find it, which makes it easier for you to hire them. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Do you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt or personal loans? With credit card debt at all-time highs, Debt Relief Advocates is urgently notifying consumers of debt relief now being made available, designed to aid consumers with out-of-control credit card debt. Those who qualify and enroll for this relief program will only have to pay back a fraction of what they owe. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. This is a relief program that credit card companies would rather you not know about, as it ends your debt nightmare and saves you lots of money. Consumers owing at least $10,000 in credit card debt or personal loans can now take advantage of this debt relief as the cost of living skyrockets. Debt Relief Advocates has established a relief hotline for you to call to learn what debt reduction you may qualify for, so don't wait. For this free information, call the Relief Hotline at 800-505-9603, 800-505-9603, 800-505-9603.
Okay, I have to tell you, I was just looking on eBay where I go for all kinds of things I love, and there it was.
That hologram trading card.
One of the rarest. The last one I needed for my set. Shiny like the...
Designer handbag of my dreams. One of a kind. eBay had it, and now everyone's asking, ooh, where'd you get your...
Windshield wipers. eBay has all the parts that fit my car. No more annoying. Just beautiful.
Whatever you love, find it on eBay. eBay. Things people love.
Find what you love what you find. A Total Wine and More. There's so much waiting for you. Spirits and beer, thousands of wines. Guides in the know and prices so low. It just might blow your mind. You're gonna find what you love and love what you find.
With curbside pickup and delivery available, you'll always find what you love, only at Total Wine & More.
Drink responsibly, B21.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star Traffic from News Talk 550 KTSA.
Good morning. Looks like we do have an accident on Harry Wurzbach at Austin Highway. It's impacting both sides of the freeway, northbound, southbound, with one lane blocked in either direction. On I-10 upper level eastbound, that off-ramp to Calabria, some ongoing road work blocking the exit ramp. And 35 on the frontage road, southbound Tupperwine to Weidner, still closed with road work. I'm Debbie Alcacer, KTSA, Time Saver Traffic.
San Antonio Sports Center.
Super Bowl 59 is set for New Orleans as the Philadelphia Eagles will face the Chiefs after the Chiefs held off the Bills 32-29 and the Eagles crushed the Commanders 55-23. The Cowboys have a new head coach promoting offensive coordinator Brian Schottenheimer and giving him a 4-year deal, according to ESPN's Todd Archer. The Spurs split in Paris with the Pacers falling 136-98 Saturday. They return to action Wednesday against the Clippers. I'm Rob Thompson on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Sports Center is brought to you by Buyers Barricades, the Texas Authority in Barricade Rental. BuyersBarricades.com.
From the studios of San Antonio Sports Star, reaching more sports fans than any station in South Texas. Welcome to the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson. This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
7 o'clock, Morning Huddle, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
You're an hour further away from it. You feeling better? Sting still there?
It'll sting for a while. It'll probably sting till after the Super Bowl, but no, I'll be all right, man. Again, it's just you build a callus.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Oh, I know what you mean.
I think this is probably the most. This is probably what it feels like to be Aggie fan.
Oh, it does. I'm telling you.
Yep. Like, I don't know.
Close but no cigar,
You can't
baby.
have nice things.
Well, you can have nice things. They're just not as nice as they could be. Should be.
Yeah.
Not what you thought you earned.
Yeah.
Such is life.
It is. No, the game. At least the game was good. I guess that's all you can ask for. Because the other game stunk.
Oh man.
I felt bad for Jaden Daniels because I think this was one of those. It was one of those days where Jaden Daniels got a lot of hype this last week, and deservedly so. He was fantastic the week before, and Jaden Daniels played a pretty good game yesterday.
You knew it was coming. There's no way, and short of being Pat Mahomes, he could have lived up to the hype that he got over the last week. I mean, it has been ridiculous and deservedly. But we talked about it on Friday. He was a rookie quarterback, and there's a reason why rookie quarterbacks don't win Super Bowls. There's a reason why rookie quarterbacks rarely even get to a Super Bowl is because you don't even know what you don't know. And even Josh Allen yesterday got tripped up on a blitz that no one saw coming. And think if that was just a rookie. I mean, think about the experience that Josh Allen had. And even then, after all these championship games and huge this and that, a blitz snuck in that he had no idea was coming.
Yeah.
And so we expect Jaden to do that? No.
Yeah, it's tough, man. There was some moments in that game yesterday. I remember, which by the way, I'll get to in a second. But when Josh kind of threw the ball, like took a big shot, like basically a Hail Mary, and they were like, why would he do that there? Because and then they show the replay, and he's pointing at the defensive hold, and he sees the flag hit the ground, and now it's like, oh, now he's a genius because he took a shot. But, yeah, that's stuff that it comes with time, time and time. Jaden he'll get there. He's so good. He's a special player. And boy, I feel bad for Cowboys fan having that guy in the division because he's a problem.
I don't see how, with those little skinny arms of his, how he achieves the velocity that he gets off the. You know what I mean?
He's got it, man.
It comes off his hand the way it much quicker than it should. He really throws darts.
I mean, it's almost like Randy Johnson-esque. Like the ball comes out a lot faster than it looks like it should.
I'll tell you what, he was as good as you could have expected. And you know, the way that that Dan Quinn plays defense, it's an all or nothing kind of thing. You know, and we've seen it with the Cowboys. It can get away from you with that Dan Quinn style because you're just so much into the turnover and the ball hawk, and chunk plays just come. And then there was Saquon.
You cannot lose the turnover battle 4-0 and win in the playoffs. You just can't. It's really hard to lose the playoff battle at all and win in the playoffs. But losing it 4-0, that's like, I mean, I don't know what I could look it up, I guess, but I would guess it's like less than 1%, if that. So it's the Eagles were good, but there's just too many self-inflicted wounds for Washington to have a chance. And at the end of the day, that's just what it boiled down to. I wanted to get to, because I thought about it when I said I was talking about that Josh Allen play. The announcing yesterday was so bad. I don't know if you felt that. I think Tom Brady's terrible at this job. I really do.
And you know, the thing is, I think that Tom Brady knows he's not very good, and he's taking coaching. He's trying to be more. He's trying to be a regular guy.
He's so he's unrelatable.
Yeah, he's trying to be a regular guy, and he's different. He's different from us. The rich are different, and the things that he gets enthused about, I don't quite frankly care about.
And Romo, who I used to love Romo. I thought he used to add a lot, and I don't know if it's like
he's getting too far away from the game.
I don't, and it feels like maybe he doesn't prep as hard as he once did, or something.
I don't think he ever prepped. Remember, after his second year, there was an all hands on deck come to Jesus meeting for Romo because he wasn't prepping, because he came into the game literally very much aware. You know, he stepped right off the field into the booth after the injury and was, you know, very attuned. The teams were scouted. He was still sitting in film rooms up until the moment he stepped in. And with every year, as he's getting further and further away from the game, you can tell he's playing 18 before he's watching film. I just think
it kind of feels that
that's
way.
what he does. Now, I will say this. I do still enjoy him in game, even though he's not telling me what's about to happen like he did a couple of years ago. He still is far better than Brady. Now, Olsen is right there. I'm not going to say Olsen's better or worse, but they're even. But those two are both better than Brady.
Almost everybody's better than Brady.
Do you think Brady's – I mean, he has a certain amount of arrogance. Do you think he'll look at what he's doing and go, this is beneath me. I'm not going to do this anymore?
No, because it's a steady paycheck.
Well, I mean –
and it gives him something to do.
Well, I think when you combine – the fact that it appears that he's running the Raiders now, that I think there might be
I like to think he'd get away from it.
Upset.
Yeah, I'd like to think he'd get away from it and just go do that, but I don't know that he will. They'll have to force him, and that's the thing is like he's such a brand name that they're gonna ride him as long as they can. Like, let's face it, if that Manning cast, which I actually enjoy, I think they do a really good job on that. But even if they didn't, ESPN would keep paying them to do it because it's Peyton Manning. Like, people like
I just think that what I would do if I was Fox is provide him a graceful exit. That is certainly, we love you and we don't want you to go, but you know, the fact that you're allowed to go into locker rooms, you could find a loophole to get him out of that where everybody looks okay.
Oh, no
like
doubt.
You're an owner, man. You can't go in there. And by the way, when the Raiders start getting good, you know, and then you start questioning how much Brady is, you know, taken out of the locker room with every weekly visit he gets with an AFC West foe when they're doing that game. I mean, it just seems a little awkward to me.
Manny, Josh showed us he's just a guy.
Shut up, man.
Had the ball with 3 minutes left and football immortality in his hands, and he failed.
Kincaid caught the ball. Then we have a different discussion.
Yeah, you saw a different game than me, I guess. I don't know. Like, did Josh, like, did he stat F you? No. I mean, it was, but you're playing the Chiefs in Kansas City. You're not going to put up 400 yards on those guys. Like,
wonder what he thinks of. The comparison. What do you think of Jim Kelly? Is he just a guy? Is that the guy that couldn't win a Super Bowl 4 consecutive times, dominated the AFC for 6 years? Just a dude, just another guy, that managed to do what he did.
I don't know, man. If you watched that game and said, yeah, this is Josh Allen's fault, you know what? I'll just bless your heart. I'll just say that. Bless your heart.
Well, Elway lived through it for a long time, and the timeline feels very much Elway-esque. I remember when Elway lost in the drive and the shot and the this and the that. There were actual plays named for Denver losses, and it feels very, eventually the other engine runs out of steam if you can hold on long enough. Greatness awaits, but it was painful to get there for Elway. And same thing for Manning. I mean, let's be real. Yeah. Manning had to go through this too. So maybe this is the precursor to greatness. The prologue had to be for him, not like Mahomes, who was born to it, that he had to go earn it after 6-8 years.
But it is very Reggie Miller-ish. Ooh. And it's or even like if you want to go Patrick Ewing, John Starks-ish, because they finally got there when Jordan walked away for a little while and couldn't take advantage of it.
Yeah.
But like the idea, so Josh Allen is now 7-6 in the NFL playoffs.
Won more playoff games than anybody else who's never gone to a Super Bowl.
Think about it. 7-6. He's 0-4 against Kansas City in the playoffs. That means he's 7-2 against everybody else. Like Josh Allen is in any other era, we'd be talking about, wow, look at what this guy's doing. And it's just, like you said, man, it's inevitable. And it's a credit to what Kansas City is. It's a reason why Patrick Mahomes is already in the greatest conversation, deservedly so. But, man, it's really frustrating if you are – like, I almost wish that I cheered for a team that didn't have a chance in hell during this era. Like,
yes,
it makes me wish that I was like a Jets fan or a Raiders fan, and it's just like, well, yeah, the Mahomes era, the guy's winning a bunch, but it's not at our expense.
Yeah, Nick fans going, welcome to the party.
Right.
I mean, yeah, there's a lot of teams that just suffered under the greatness of
being the second best team in any given era is like, especially if you don't win ever, that's just miserable. That really is. Like it's tough. Like imagine, and luckily for Cowboy fan, it didn't go this way because Cowboys and 49ers kind of split greatness in that era. But imagine being a Cowboy fan and the 49ers won every one of those games. Like all those games that you guys split, imagine if the Niners had won every one of them, how disgusted you would have felt.
Trust me, I'm very aware how possible it could have been.
It is a painful thing, and you'd almost rather just not even be at the party than go to the party knowing that the bully's going to punch you in the face.
In the NBA alone, I just started thinking off the top of my head, Clyde Drexler, John Stockton, Karl Malone, Reggie Miller, Terry Porter, Pat Ewing, and the list goes on of guys, Hall of Famers, dudes wearing jackets that, thanks for playing, you just chose the wrong decade.
Yeah. You're judged by rings. Joe has played for one. Josh can't get there. The previous times he had to watch Mahomes get his tear his heart out at the end, he had the ball this time and failed.
Well, that's true.
Like, again, that's like saying Lamar Jackson failed when he hit Mark Andrews in the chest with the ball.
Sadly, he failed.
And that is the thing. Like, I get that. And I know the offseason narrative is Josh Allen can't beat the Chiefs when literally he put a ball in Dalton Kincaid's hands that he couldn't have done any. In that situation, he couldn't have made a better throw than he did.
All of that combined, we could say, but for me, we're winning 7 games. I mean, there's so much to say about Josh Allen. I refuse to.
I literally don't know if another human could make the throw that he made to Dalton Kincaid right there.
The way he's going back. No, he couldn't have. The Bills aren't anywhere close to where they are.
He's diving backwards.
But that's not the point here. We know he's fully capable of getting a team to exactly where he got them. The point about this year was, can you get further than this? We know you're capable of this. We've seen it over and over in the regular season and a lot of times in the playoffs, but can you get them there? And at the end of the day, the narrative was either reinforced or still incomplete, depending on your attitude about Allen.
Yeah. And then he says Elway drugged 3 Broncos teams to the Super Bowl who should have never gotten there. Right.
That's what we're saying about Allen. My gosh.
And he lost those Super Bowls. And then when he did win a Super Bowl, it wasn't necessarily because of him. It wasn't that John Elway was so great at that point. Like John Elway he wasn't holding them back, but
once you put a ring on, your greatness is magnified by a factor of X. It's far more than the sum of its parts.
And I guess that's kind of like, for me, that's the fingers crossed. Maybe one day Josh Allen gets a ring. Like maybe he sneaks one in at the end of his career. I don't know. Maybe he does it for another team. But I think when he does that, people will look back at what he's done prior and go, dude, that guy was really good.
Well, yes, there was a narrative. Elway was a loser. There was a narrative that Manning was a loser. Couldn't win a national championship. Gets to the Colts, can't win a title. I mean, there were narratives way back when that even the great Peyton Manning, that even the great quarterbacks of the past were considered losers because they couldn't do it. And the only thing that erased that was time and finally a win. Whether they were far less responsible for the win they finally got than the greatness they provided just to get the teams there where they got and lost. They weren't even as good as when they lost, but it didn't matter. They put the ring on.
Yeah. All right, let's hit a break. We'll come back. We'll continue this conversation. Morning Huddle, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Rise and hot! It's the 94.1 San Antonio Sports Stars 50K Big Game Giveaway.
You asked for it, you got it!
Predict the exact score of the big game in New Orleans, and you could score $50,000. Make your predictions now at sasportsstar.com.
I like this kind of party!
The 50K Big Game Giveaway, brought to you by Deets Tractor. Score big with Deets Tractor in Seguin and 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Hey, this is Rob Thompson here for my good friends over at Prize Picks. It is now or never. The big game is almost here. Don't miss out on the last big one of the season. And Prize Picks is the absolute best place to win cash while watching the big game. And I'm talking about serious cash, 1,000 times your money. And it is so easy to do. And on top of that, we've got money for you. Just check out the promos tab to tail any of our super sweet Millie winners. Big game lineups, you can get them. If you tail a lineup that goes 3 for 3, you can win up to $1 million. That's part of the promo finds. That's why you go to Prize Picks. I'll tell you what, you want some cash? Use the code Alamo. You get $50 instantly after you play your first game. That's a $5 lineup with 2 times the money. Let's go play Prize Picks. You've been putting it off all year long, or you've been playing along with the other 10 million. Prize Picks is the place to be. Go run your game.
On Super Sunday, you could be the crunch time hero. PorkRinds.com is bringing you a game-changing twist to your big day because it's also Pork Rind Appreciation Day. The crispy, crunchy, crave-worthy snack you love deserves its moment. PorkRinds.com is celebrating by giving you a chance to win tickets to the 2026 big game in Santa Clara. Enter at PorkRinds.com and become your own crunch time hero. This Super Sunday, make sure your snack game is on point. Celebrate Pork Rind Appreciation Day. Get in on the action at PorkRinds.com.
In Texas, your spouse can claim alimony after just 10 years of marriage. Do you know your countdown? Because I guarantee you, she does. I'm Gary Barton with Barton & Associates. If you're considering divorce, then contact Barton & Associates today at texasdivorce.com. That's texasdivorce.com.
Progressive knows finding your new home was a dream come true. You wanted a walk-up with central air and a skylight, and you found it. Now, every Friday night, you get to fall asleep to the sound of your downstairs neighbors' dance parties. Progressive can't save you from your noisy neighbors, but we can save you money when you bundle your home and auto with us. Get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers not available in all states.
Find what you love what you find. A Total Wine and More. There's so much waiting for you. Spirits and beer, thousands of wines. Guides in the know and prices so low. It just might blow your mind. You're gonna find what you love and love what you find.
With curbside pickup and delivery available, you'll always find what you love, only at Total Wine & More.
Drink responsibly, B21.
If you get arrested, get out of jail fast by calling AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text bail to 474747 or online at mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else. Don't be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you one, make sure you understand the conditions before accepting it. AA Best Bail Bonds. Nobody beats their price. They have payment plans. Call 210-225-2121 or mybestbailbonds.com.
License number 149.
You're listening to the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
Allen and Mahomes, or Allen's entering his 8th season without a trophy, and that's I mean, year 8 is when Peyton won his. And you could say that for a lot of guys. It's because that's this Lamar Jackson's in that same boat. Yeah. And they're all going to have to. It's funny, this Superman's nemesis. It's so like if you don't think the Chiefs are villains, Josh Allen is the most sympathetic figure in this whole thing. And the fact that they're saying he's Superman and they're calling the Chiefs Superman's kryptonite, that tells you that the Chiefs are the villains. They are the villains. They're the villains, Rob.
Not yet.
They are the villains.
I don't think that's going to be the theme for the next 2 weeks. I think there's going to be a periphery. I think the Bills Mafia and there's some others that lost to the Chiefs are going to look at them as the villains. But the overriding theme of this is going to be three-peat in the greatness that is. That the imminent front that is the Chiefs is so big, great, so strong, and doesn't matter. That's going to be, and they're nice guys. We're going to see a lot of the Kelsey mom again. It's going to feel like this is the coronation to the greats. This is the next and last step for the Chiefs. It's going to be a fun week for Chiefs fans. We're not going to talk negatively about the villain side of being great for this long.
Somebody asked earlier, where are we staying in New Orleans? Rob and I aren't going to New Orleans.
We're not.
We're going to hang out here. And while I say we're going to hang out here, actually, we're leaving on Wednesday after the show, and we're taking our show on the road to Las Vegas for a fight this weekend. And then we'll come back and we'll hold down the fort on this end. Jason and Joe are going to go to Radio Row. We are not going to go to Radio Row.
For a variety of reasons. They'll be heading out that week on that Wednesday to get all the coverage. They're getting to get there just in time for the parties. And we'll be here.
But
I'm not mad though.
No,
I'm not upset.
And I think the bosses said, well, what we'll do is we'll bring you guys breakfast every day since you're not going to get to eat the New Orleans food. We're going to bring you guys breakfast every day while they're out there.
Are they going to bring me beignets and chicory coffee?
I think so. I think so. Yeah.
That'd be nice.
I would hope.
Mark the tape.
It feels like
mark the tape here.
I would assume that's what they would do.
Because a muffalata for lunch would be nice.
That would be right.
Mm-hmm.
If you brought me some shrimp and grits,
that would be really outstanding.
That would be
awfully nice of you to do something like that.
That'd be the right thing to do.
Pick us up. I don't know, some etouffee.
Yeah.
Some by Commander's Palace
gumbo.
And grab me some of that shrimp mac and cheese.
Gumbo.
No, it's lobster mac. Excuse me. From Commander's Palace. And then there's the oysters Rockefeller at that other. I mean, there's a few things you could Instacart for us.
Fried shrimp, crawfish tail po' boy. No tomatoes on mine, please.
The muffalatas with that relish from what's that city?
Like that relish
that
stuff?
That remoulade stuff. Oh yeah, man. I love. Man, that's man. You talk about. Did you just want to bring me down? That's what you did. I
wanted to bring you down to my level.
You just pulled me down. We're crabs in a bucket. I was about to enjoy Super Bowl licks.
My favorite.
And then you just pull me back into the fact that I'm not going to be there.
My favorite restaurant in New Orleans is a place called Giacomo's.
Oh yeah, man.
They've got they do a braised rabbit that is incredible, and they have alligator cheesecake, which sounds gross, but is one of the most delicious things you'll ever eat in your life, ever.
You went to a restaurant and ordered braised rabbit.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a foodie. I am. I have a rather adventurous palate. I can tell you now, with I'm pretty comfortable in saying I will never in my life order braised rabbit at a restaurant. I don't care how good you tell me it is. I'm pretty proud of you for doing it. I would look at that and go, that's interesting. I'd like to see somebody else try it. I'm not ordering it. I just wouldn't do it. I bet it was fantastic.
Oh, it's incredible.
It's a remarkable choice. I just personally would never, and I think of myself as a rather adventurous eater.
I'm an adventurous eater.
But I wouldn't go, you know what, of all the other stuff here, how's that rabbit? I just don't think I would do that, man. I'm pretty impressed with that.
Yeah, I'll eat anything once. I'll try it.
I mean, yeah. I'm astounded.
Yeah,
because Giacomo's they're known for their straight up Cajun stuff.
Oh yeah, but they do a lot of good things.
No, we won't be there. I don't want to dwell on
that. The Blitz Show is Sean Elliott in Paris, and y'all are Toby and
we are Toby and Schoening. We got stuck looking at the monitors. That's right.
All right. But yeah, we are going to see David Benavidez and David Morrell.
If you like that kind of stuff.
In Vegas this weekend, which I'm stoked
It'll be a hell of a
about.
fight. I'm glad to be there.
Rob's got some Sphere plans.
I'm gonna go see U2. Not the live performance because I didn't get tickets for that, but they're gonna play. Well, I haven't gotten the tickets yet.
So what exactly
see this
is
movie.
like?
It's a movie. It says U2 something experience, and they're showing it at the Sphere.
The Sphere experience.
The Sphere. It's the U2 and the Sphere, and I guess they've made a movie out of it.
Here, you want to know what my guess is?
It's $135 to go see.
I'm going to tell you what my guess is. I'm guessing it's like it's the concert that I saw.
I'll bet.
Just without.
That's what my guess
the
is.
The live band there.
$135. They better give me something.
I mean, and like I said, I bet it's the entire experience
of
like how.
I'm going to go do that just because U2's the greatest band that ever was or ever will be.
Oh.
So, and I missed it when they came through the first time. Really, the only tour I've missed.
Yeah.
Only live performance of some version that I've ever missed.
What a loser.
Yeah, well, I'll be there Friday night. Alone. Me alone, sitting there. Me. Wow. And the other guys are taking a bunch of.
Now you'll know what my life feels like all the time. Like,
I guess that's true.
You want to take a cat with you?
Right. I'm Tiny Tim. Everyone else is having fun.
Oh,
I'd like
man.
one token, please.
That's funny. Yeah. You know what? We haven't even gotten into this yet, but I do think we need to discuss the Cowboys, and they have a new head coach. Normally that would.
I thought Jerry would tell us.
Normally that would lead the way, but we got a little bit of a late news dump on Friday.
God, tell me you're not embarrassed by telling me you're embarrassed.
Exactly. That was a weird move. I'm trying to find the comment.
I would imagine we are going to carry today's press conference live as they introduce.
What time is that going to be
we'll have to ask Edwin. He seems to have that clock down. I'm sure it'll probably be about noon or 11 o'clock is their pretty typical press conference time there in the Star. But as we get the time, I'll let you know. But we'll make sure we get it out there.
Gregory says, are you considered a villain simply because you win and have great coaching and good team play?
If you do it long enough, yes.
Yes, but also, again, and I'm not saying that the officials were the reason the Chiefs won yesterday, but when after every game there's real question marks about how you're winning, other fan bases don't like that. And it's okay if you're a Chiefs fan to accept that you're the villain. You're not going to be the good guy. You're not a white hat cowboy anymore.
Not anymore.
When Mahomes won his first one, Mahomes was a white hat. He is a pure black hat cowboy now. He is a bad guy. The Chiefs are bad guys. And the best thing you can do is accept that. And it's okay. It's
yeah, the world needs a Death Star. We have to aim at this. There has to be a bar to jump, and and you're here long enough to do it. And let's not kid ourselves. Now, there might not have been a call yesterday that really shifted, but there were a few that kind of shaded it. But there was a call against the Texans. There was a call prior to that. I mean, there's this series of things where you go, yeah, this game, no. But, if that roughing the quarterback call didn't happen against the Texans, that outcome might have been entirely different.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you might not even been here. And then we can go the game before that. So I think there's a sum total because you're front and center for so long. Eventually, we just get tired of it. And here we sit. And you think you're tired of the Chiefs now? Wait till a week from Friday after we have had 14 straight days of Donna Kelsey and all the Swifties and Mahomes and their babies and all the other stuff. Oh, my gosh.
Kelsey's mom and Taylor's mom hugging. It's like, ooh.
And now, you know what? They've created the perfect storm, AJ. Now we've added Caitlin Clark to the mix.
Oh, yeah.
So we add Caitlin into all of this, and we have the perfect social media storm, man. It's going to be death by 1,000 cuts.
And I want you to understand that there is a time when you see something enough and you go, even when it was likable at first, it gets old to people. Like, I'll give an example of this.
I got one, too.
When I was a kid, Hulk Hogan was the baby face of baby faces. Hulk Hogan was an actual, people thought of him as an actual hero.
Yeah, an action figure.
Yeah. And what Hulk Hogan would do in every match, the craziest thing about Hulk Hogan is every match was exactly the same. Hulk Hogan would be getting beat up, and it looked like Hulk Hogan, it was finally going to be over for him. But then you'd hit him once, and he'd go, huh? And start shaking his head. And then you'd hit him again, and he'd go, whoa.
Get mad.
And then you'd hit him a third time, and he'd stand up, and he'd look around, and the bad guy would go, oh, no. And they call it hulking out. And then Hulk Hogan, you'd try to hit him again, and Hulk Hogan would block it, and he'd hit you, and he'd throw you against the ropes. He'd kick you in the face, and then he'd do a leg drop, and he'd pin you 1, 2, 3. It was clockwork, and everybody loved it until you did it one too many times, and then people were like, "Oh my God, this shtick!" It's like,
yeah, it's enough.
Enough. We get it. We know the story here. Let's try someone new. And eventually, Hulk Hogan became a heel because and now if you try to bring back Hulk Hogan and have him do a shame shtick, it's like nobody wants to see it. That's what the Chiefs have become. The Chiefs have become Hulkamania. And they've got the same color scheme, even the red and yellow, but they are now Hollywood Hulk Hogan. They are NWO Hulk Hogan now, where they're bad guys. Make no mistake, they are bad guys.
And the league is not set up for transcendence. I mean, you just can't stay great for that long. And we're going to start seeing some attrition. We'll see if this team is capable of reloading like Belichick was. I mean, he was capable of bringing in old, you said goodbye to Randy Moss, but you said hello to somebody else. And let's see, now that this generation is going to start aging out, we'll see where this true greatness lies, because there's still the possibility of this being the greatest team of all time.
Well, yeah, but we live in a world where that's not. It doesn't make everybody happy.
No, we want that does provide the plot for the next. I mean, we do get tired, but
if you are a dynasty, there's one of two things that can happen. One is what's happening with Kansas City, what happens when the New York Yankees win a bunch. We become like there's such a fatigue of, oh my gosh, the rich get richer. This sucks. I'm tired of this. I want anyone else to win. The other thing that can happen, and that's, which, by the way, that's why I say you should embrace this. Embrace the villain hat. Like, who cares what other people think?
Well, I know the next chapter.
The other side of it is, like, when the Spurs were great, and there was a collective yawn, and then Spurs fans were like, why aren't you talking more about us? Why isn't the national narrative saying how great we are?
Mm-hmm.
Why doesn't anyone care? That's way worse than being the villain.
Oh, no, you're right. We know that. I'd much rather be talked about than forgotten, or just being the secondary to the superstar player than the team. And I think one of the things that might happen as we get there is we're just going to be stuck with Pat Mahomes.
Yeah.
He'll be the last standing survivor there. And that will be the second act. I think at some point Kansas City will lose, but the narrative will prolong. Can he turn it around? Can they find another way? But right now, the narrative will be, are we on the precipice of the greatest NFL team in the modern history of the league? And we're real close to that. Yeah. Real close. Now, we're still 2 years away from knowing, because I think we're going to need to have 4 Super Bowls in 5 years to be considered where they think they're going. And that might be enough to prolong this. And think about how much you don't like them now. Wait till they're chasing true, utter greatness.
How long was the stretch? I guess it was like over 8 years when Joe Montana won his, huh? Because they won their last one in 90.
Yeah, and the thing about that era was there were 2 different quarterbacks, there were 2 different coaches. It felt like 2 different teams. It didn't really feel like the continuity. And because it felt like 2 teams, there was a stretch where it felt like it was only the 49ers, but it was just different culprits, different parts.
So like 82 to 90, Montana won 4 Super Bowls in those 8 years.
And Young was in there too.
Young was after.
Yeah.
Young was after.
But that's what I'm saying. It was the same team. We talked about the 49ers for so long, but it was really 2 different eras.
Yeah. No, I think you can, if they win this year, you can certainly make a case. This is the and what's crazy is when Tyreek Hill left, it's like, oh well, that's the end of that.
Yeah, we could name.
Yeah, it's the end of that. They let this defensive player walk. Oh, well, I guess they're going to fall off. No, that is the amazing thing about having a special quarterback is.
Well, on the other side of this, now Pat Mahomes will be thrust into a new position because he's going to become what Josh Allen is, but on the next level. Now Pat Mahomes has to go earn GOAT. Now there's going to be a little bit more pressure on him because, we know how good you are. Are you the greatest of all time? Can you hurdle Brady over the next couple of years? And that spotlight's going to be pretty stout. It won't be soft on him because now we're talking about climbing and standing atop Everest, and it won't be as kind because there's a lot of Brady fans, and we talk about the Mannings and the Montana types out there that are still going to say, no matter how good you are, you ain't them.
All right, we'll be back. Morning Huddle 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star traffic from News Talk 550 KTSA.
Good morning. We do have a trouble spot on Harry Wurzbach at Austin Highway. This wreck is impacting traffic in both directions, northbound, southbound. We do have a lane blocked in either direction. On 35 on the frontage road southbound Tupperwine to Weidner, that is closed with road work. I-10 upper level eastbound, that off-ramp to Calabria, more road work, exit ramp blocked. And 35 southbound FM3009 to O'Connor, filling in and slowing down for your morning commute. I'm Debbie Alcacer, KTSA Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Taco Bell. Eat Lux your way with the new $5 Classic, $7 Supreme, and $9 Discovery Lux Craving Boxes from Taco Bell at participating stores for a limited time only. While supplies last, price of participation varies. Drinks exclude freezes, tax extra.
Mellow Mushroom has the best pizza in San Antonio. Mellow delivers the best pizza experience with their delicious dough, premium ingredients, and unique flavors. Delivering a higher order of pizza is the standard. If Mellow can make a pizza this delicious, imagine what they can do with munchies, greens, calzones, and burgers. Mellow Mushroom has San Antonio's best happy hour with food specials and half-off adult beverages. Mellow Mushroom is at 1604 in Stone Oak Parkway. Hang with friends, watch the game, and mellow out at Mellow Mushroom.
It is playoff time. Jason Minix here from the Blitz. You know Underdog is the best place to cash in on all your takes during the playoffs. Be like me and 5 million other happy players winning money watching games with their Pick'em game, where you could win up to 1,000 times your money just by choosing higher or lower on player stats. You can cook up fire entries for a shot to win real cash prizes all playoff long. You can even take football and basketball and mix them together. Underdog is the only Pick'em platform that puts the power to cash out in your hands. Now you can either keep riding with your entry or tap the Win Now button to cash out whenever you want. Underdog is the best place to play Pick'em. Download the app, sign up with my promo code STAR, and deposit now and get up to $1,000 in bonus cash instantly. That's promo code STAR. Must be over 18, present in a state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms apply. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org. That's Underdog Fantasy, promo code STAR. Sign up today.
Well, family, this new year is off to a great start. Everybody, how are those New Year's resolutions?
Dear, my resolution is to cut my damaged hair and just start over.
Dad, my resolution is to take better care of my skin. It's so dry. Ew.
Pops, my New Year's resolution is to work out at the gym. Go up and drink a gallon of bottled water every day.
My resolution is to take up skydiving.
Mom, you're 96.
Don't you make me get it.
Family, my resolution is to replace all our appliances that have been destroyed over the years by hard water.
Sounds like your family needs to start the new year off with installing a Connecticut water system and get a head start on all those resolutions.
This guy's making sense.
For a limited time, receive a free reverse osmosis drinking station at your kitchen sink. $400 off with trade-in and 0% interest for 12 months with approved credit. Don't wait. Offer ends soon. Call Connecticut of San Antonio and the Hill Country.
The last water softener you'll ever own. ConnecticutSA.com.
Hi, I'm Jason Thompson, and I've represented folks here in San Antonio injured by negligent drivers for more than 30 years. If you or a family member has been seriously injured, I want you to call me, Jason Thompson, at 210-900-0400. I've heard from many of my clients that after they were involved in a collision, they would get phone calls asking them to hire an attorney. This is highly irregular and probably illegal. Any attorney that is trying to contact you either directly or through a marketing company is not the kind of attorney that you should trust with such a serious matter. Quite frankly, it's creepy. If you call me, we will speak directly. If you hire me, it will be after you and I have talked. I will explain what I can do for you, and you can decide what you would like me to do next. The phone call and the consultation are free. Getting a smart result requires that you make smart decisions along the way, and that's my job, to help you and your family make smart decisions, and that's based on more than 30 years of experience. If you've been injured in an accident, call me, Jason Thompson, at 210-900-0400, or go to my website, alawyerforus.com.
If you missed the Blitz with Jason and Joe, then you missed this.
I just heard the worst Bon Jovi impersonation parody type song ever from one James Fletcher.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
It was awful. Because you almost made my ear bleed with that, you need to do that for the public.
Shouting through the heart, and you're to blame.
You give offenses a bad name.
Wow.
Right home with the Blitz. Afternoons 2 to 6 on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Hi, this is Joe Reinagle. You're listening to the home of the Texas Rangers, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Rob, in the last 10 years, and this will make it 11 now, how many Super Bowls have been won by someone besides Mahomes, Brady, or Peyton Manning, and or the Philadelphia Eagles, because they won one.
I mean,
so this will be
the second. The quarterbacks there don't even play in the league. Well, yeah. Wentz is a backup someplace.
Yeah,
none. I mean, this is. I mean, I can go back 20 years. I feel like that's all I've watched is either the Patriots, the Chiefs,
the Rams,
Steelers,
the Rams beating the Bengals. That was the one. Like in hindsight, God. What I wouldn't give for a random-ass Rams-Bengals matchup.
Well, I feel like I kind of got the random-ass matchup this year, and it's a repeat. This is not the Super Bowl I wanted. I don't think a lot of people wanted this. Either you might have wanted one of these teams. You certainly didn't want both of them.
That's kind of where I was.
Anybody dreaming about the Chiefs-Eagles rematch?
I didn't want. I would have been fine. Like, I mean, obviously I was going to be bummed if the Bills lost anyway, but I would have much rather seen Commanders and seen, like, what can Jaden Daniels become? Like, I don't know.
Well, it would have been like in Miami when the Chiefs went that first time. It would have been, wow, this Mahomes guy. And now it would have been this McDaniel. Let's talk about all this stuff. Let's learn about this guy. Let's figure out who he is and where he's from and how he got here. All those cool things that, well, we're just going to put the stories. We all know the stories on both sides. There's nothing new going to come out this week.
Yep. Well, we got a whole week to talk about this game. Let's talk about the Dallas Cowboys, who have announced that Brian Schottenheimer is the new head coach. And I said when they decided not to bring McCarthy back and they waited that long and got that deep into the process, I said this essentially locks in the fact that the Cowboys are going to end up with a less qualified head coach than what they have.
Well, I agree with that statement, but for the most part, I'm not always looking for the most qualified. I'm looking for the next. I mean, most of those new coaches aren't qualified when they get the job. They're the hot guy, but for me,
but at least with like Liam Cohen or Ben Johnson, there's a bit of a lottery ticket aspect to it.
Yes,
Like
there's that.
There could be greatness in there.
If you're not going to hire Pete Carroll or whoever else with a Super Bowl that's going to be at least equal to the dude you fired, at least hire somebody that has something on his resume that's interesting, not a dude that has been working in around the corner that brought you coffee for the last 4 years. That's what I feel like. You everything that you did for the last 2 weeks was a sham. That you from the get-go were going to keep everything in-house. In fact, you are going to bring the center of power even closer to yourself. That orbit is now done. Now it's all you. You've become the king in all facets, and your coach now has your hand up its ass like a finger puppet while we get things going. That's what I feel like.
And I can't imagine that there are any fans who are excited about this because
old man Schottenheimer's wife.
Let's face it, there were two camps of Cowboys fans. There were the camp that said, let's ride it out with Coach McCarthy. It's not his fault this season's gone awry. And then there were fans who were like, we got to do something new. Well, you didn't satisfy either group because you got rid of McCarthy, but you hired the guy who's been like his underling, like not even the play caller because McCarthy was the play caller. So you hired this guy who is part of the whole overall system failure, but got rid of the guy who actually knew what he was doing.
Well, Jerry will go, you know what? Y'all got mad at me last time when I hired Garrett. Garrett. You said, hey, you need to shake things up. So what did I do? I went and hired Mike McCarthy. And guess what? He did the same thing that Garrett did, cost me more money, and I'm in the same boat. From now on, I'm just going to hire a guy I know. I mean, that would be Jerry's retort to that. Like, hey, I did that. 4 years later, I'm in the same boat I was with the dude I knew. Why would I want to go elsewhere? It's an idiotic point of view. It's embarrassing.
It's fascinating to me. Here's Adam Schefter. Oh, boy. Let's see if I can find it on my page here. Always something around this place. People always want to mess with my stuff. Vic, what page am I on? Okay, here we go. Here we go. All right. Here's Adam Schefter talking about why the Cowboys went with Schottenheimer.
This is somebody that I think, most important, Jerry Jones felt very comfortable with. When he called Friday night to deliver the news that he had just hired Brian Schottenheimer, and that Brian Schottenheimer, a career assistant, is no longer a career assistant. He's now the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys. Jerry Jones sounded awfully excited about this. Brian Schottenheimer is somebody that he knows, is comfortable with, believes in, knows the system, that his quarterback, the highest paid player in football, Dak Prescott, is comfortable with. And so there are any number of elements that appeal to Jerry Jones and the Dallas Cowboys as they move forward in these talks. They met with Brian Schottenheimer on Wednesday, again on Thursday, throughout the day on Friday, and clearly everything that they heard during those discussions made them come to the realization and the decision that there was no need to prolong this search any longer, and it was time to give Brian Schottenheimer his very first NFL head coaching job.
Well, it was obvious to everyone. Everyone. Well, and do you remember all the teams that called the Cowboys asking for permission to interview Schottenheimer for their head coaching job, and the Cowboys were like, no.
He's a hot commodity, baby.
Oh, wait. No one called and asked that? Weird.
The prereq for hiring your head coach really should be the guy you're most comfortable with. The guy that agrees wholeheartedly with everything you believe. You need to go get a guy who will say yes to everything that you say. The guy that you're most comfortable with is probably the last guy you need to hire, Jerry.
Seriously.
I mean, literally, you need somebody that when you walk in the door and you go, it's a beautiful blue sky day, you need somebody in the room to say, no, it's not. It is not a beautiful day. You need someone to go Costanza on you because all of your decisions to this point for 30 years have led you down the wrong road. Comfortability should have been his last opportunity, but he hired a hand puppet. I mean, he hired a mannequin, a hand puppet, a mouthpiece, whatever you want to call, and he's going to try to feed us a pretty good line of BS this at noon today as to why this guy is going to be great.
I just don't get it. I mean, I get in a way when you talk about the hand puppet thing, you're right. Like he wants someone that he can have his thumb over.
Absolutely.
But the fact that he still doesn't see that that's not going to work. But I really think what I've come to realize is that he doesn't care if it works. He just wants to ride this out, doing it his way.
I think he cares. He just thinks like he's the smartest guy in the room. You guys don't see what I see. And that's the worst kind of people you want to be around. The ones that thoroughly believe, no matter what room they're in, they're always the smartest. And if you don't agree with them, it's because you're stupid and you don't see what I see. That's the worst kind of position to be in, to surround yourself with people that say, that's a good idea, Jerry. You're doing the right move, Jerry. And then when he gets around other people, he's like, everybody else tells me this is a great idea. And you're an idiot. That's the worst guy to be around.
Yeah. No, it's very frustrating. Schefter, again, talking about how it was pretty clear early on in this process that Schottenheimer was going to be the guy.
It was unusual the way it played out, but it really didn't cost the Dallas Cowboys any candidates. It doesn't feel or seem as if they were in the market for Ben Johnson or Aaron Glenn, so therefore that's irrelevant. The other coaches they didn't interview were not on their interview list, and they were focused in on the group of coaches that they spoke to. And from the moment they began meeting with Brian Schottenheimer on Wednesday, it became readily apparent that this was somebody that they were targeting to be the next head coach of the Dallas Cowboys. There are other names. They met with Robert Saleh. They met with the former Vikings head coach Leslie Frazier. Jerry Jones himself spoke with Deion Sanders, but never actually interviewed him for the job. Not that he would have needed to interview Deion for the job. The idea of Jason Witten was kicked around. But all along, it seemed like they were focused in on Brian Schottenheimer. Kellen Moore, also an assistant coach with the Eagles, offensive coordinator in Philadelphia, was a name that they spoke to. But again, it really felt like this was going to be Brian Schottenheimer's job. And Friday night, Jerry Jones made that official.
My biggest problem with this is like them acting like Ben Johnson or Aaron Glenn were never on their mind. Like,
I don't think they were. I think what Shefty is saying is true, but for the wrong reasons. It was never on their mind because no way Ben Johnson comes to the Cowboys. He's not going to come here and let Jerry do what he has done to great coaches in the past. I mean, yeah, it was never on their mind because they knew they could never get him. They weren't going to pay him enough, nor were they going to allow him the leeway to do what Ben Johnson's going to get to do where he is now.
It's frustrating because if you're a Cowboy fan, it's frustrating because you kind of know what Brian Schottenheimer is. And he's just, it's very milquetoast. Like there's nothing that inspires hope.
We don't have a head coach anymore. He's an offensive coordinator with a new nameplate on his office. He doesn't feel like a head coach. You think that if there's an issue going on and Micah Parsons is going to go by and see Shotty, he's going straight to the owner where everybody else is going. No, they don't even have a head coach. This is a team with another coordinator, and you'll have an assistant coordinator that'll be called the OC, and then they're going to get a couple of other coordinators, but really the head coach is now Jerry Jones.
Yeah. This is I don't know. I again, as a non-Cowboy fan, it's fascinating to me, but also like kind of funny. But I can also understand, like if you're a Cowboy fan, this is infuriating because you don't feel like they're like your ceiling is capped with this.
Yeah.
Like I don't know if Ben Johnson can coach or not. I really don't. I don't know if Ben Johnson is like this great. I think I like his chances, but the idea that you wouldn't even be interested in talking to him because Brian Schottenheimer's in house. If Brian Schottenheimer were a head coach, he would have been a head coach a long time ago.
But we have, again, AJ, don't work under we believe that Ben had any desire to come to the Cowboys. It's easy to say, we don't even want to interview him. He's not really in our plans. When you know full well he wasn't going to say yes, so I can easily go, you know what? That Jennifer Aniston, I don't like her.
Yeah.
I never liked her.
I'm never going to sleep with her.
I'm never going to sleep with her. Why would I want to sleep with that? Knowing full well it would never happen how much I wanted it. So I believe Jerry is being very honest in that. We didn't talk to him. We didn't want to talk to him because I didn't want to hear no.
Yeah.
You think Ben was going to say, yeah, I'd love to come coach in that circus?
For sure. Not going to do it. For sure. No interest whatsoever.
None.
Yeah. They didn't lose out on any candidates.
No, because they got different plans.
Those guys were never in the plans.
I don't know what we're doing.
I'll tell you one guy who's not pleased about this whole thing is Michael Irvin. As we know, Michael Irvin was a big advocate for Coach Prime. But we'll hear from Michael Irvin on the other side. We'll hear his thoughts on Brian Schottenheimer being the head coach. And I'll be honest, doesn't seem like Michael Irvin's real high on the Cowboys' chances going forward. So we'll talk about that next. Morning Huddle, 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, KTFM Floresville.
Ahead of the field and throws it down with a right hand.
Your home for the NBA.
This report is sponsored by Via Metropolitan Transit.
Via's putting out the call. Are you looking for a good-paying career with benefits, paid training, and a chance to serve your community? Join a team of superheroes. Apply now to be a bus operator at viainfo.net/employment.
The following is a dramatization.
Davis Law Firm, how can I help?
Hi, I got hurt in a wreck, but I don't know if it's really worth getting an attorney.
Don't worry, you called the right place.
I'm Jeff Davis. At Davis Law Firm, we're here for you 24/7, and you don't pay unless we win. We recently secured a jury verdict for $210 million in a wrongful death case. So if you've been hurt, call us at 444-4444.
Davis Law Firm, San Antonio.
Every morning, we rise and shine, make breakfast, and brush away the night's rest. These routines help us start the day off right. Nature-Made vitamins are a simple step in that daily care regimen. Multivitamins with daily essentials, clinically studied probiotics for gut health support, magnesium to help relax the body. Nature-Made is made to care for you every day. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
I'm at a smoothie bar asking people if they'd switch smoothies with me for $574.
Oh, I'll switch.
So what about $574 if you switch your home insurance to Allstate?
That's a headache.
Nope, it's painless.
Oh, so it's easy money.
Yep, check Allstate first and you could save hundreds on quality home insurance today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Not available in every state. Based on the national average annual savings for new home insurance customers surveyed in 2023 who switched to Allstate and reported savings. Savings vary.
Guys, if you're not feeling like yourself, testosterone therapy may be the answer. Look for the VIP treatment you'll get with the experts at Synergenics Testosterone Weight Loss. Synergenics has over a decade of TRT experience. Book your appointment at synergenicshealth.com.
Jake from State Farm. I'm winning. I finally cleaned my house, so I'm breaking out my new tropical room spray.
Keep winning and create an affordable price just for you by bundling your home and auto with the State Farm Personal Price Plan. It's like your own personal paradise.
Ooh, hey, grab me a coconut water.
Bundling, just another way to save with a personal price plan. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Prices are based on rating plans that vary by state. Coverage options are selected by the customer. Availability, amount of discounts and savings, and eligibility vary by state.
Do you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt or personal loans? With credit card debt at all-time highs, Debt Relief Advocates is urgently notifying consumers of debt relief now being made available, designed to aid consumers with out-of-control credit card debt. Those who qualify and enroll for this relief program will only have to pay back a fraction of what they owe. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. loan. This is a relief program that credit card companies would rather you not know about, as it ends your debt nightmare and saves you lots of money. Consumers owing at least $10,000 in credit card debt or personal loans can now take advantage of this debt relief as the cost of living skyrockets. Debt Relief Advocates has established a relief hotline for you to call to learn what debt reduction you may qualify for, so don't wait. For this free information, call the Relief Hotline at 800-505-9603, 800-505-9603, 800-505-9603.
Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds. With that kind of money, you could go big time on a fancy water bottle with ultra titanium alloy metal. You're not sure why you need all that. I mean, it just holds water. But you're getting it anyway, because if you're hiking near an active volcano and you accidentally drop the bottle into molten lava, your water will still be icy cold. Switch to Progressive and you could save big time for water bottles. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states. Potential savings will vary.
Here at Boot Barn, our objective is to build the perfect boot. We do take our time ensuring that every step is done correctly. For a boot to last you for a lifetime, you've got to properly build the boots. Hand craftsmanship is, in my opinion, the only way you're going to achieve that. We handcraft our boots. 160 people take a boot from start to finish. We have skilled artisans at every stage of the game. We've been handcrafting boots since the beginning here at Boot Barn, and we'll continue to do so.
Divorce is a fight. If you don't want to get knocked out of the ring by your spouse, then you need an aggressive law firm with a stable of hard-hitting attorneys at your disposal. Contact Barton & Associates today. Visit TexasDivorce.com. That's TexasDivorce.com.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star traffic from News Talk 550 KTSA.
A couple of trouble spots as you head into your morning commute. 281 southbound, just past Bitters. That's a wreck. We've got a left lane, a right shoulder block, 20-minute delay, slow from Redland Road. And then on 35 northbound at Evans, that's a stall right lane, has you slow from Olympia Parkway. Southbound side of 35, FM 1103 on down to Randolph Boulevard right now, about a 20-minute commute. And about 20 minutes on 90 eastbound 211 over to Hunt Lane. I'm Debbie Alcacer, KTSA Time Saver Traffic.
San Antonio Sports Center.
Super Bowl 59 is set for New Orleans as the Philadelphia Eagles will face the Chiefs after the Chiefs held off the Bills 32-29 and the Eagles crushed the Commanders 55-23. The Cowboys have a new head coach promoting offensive coordinator Brian Schottenheimer and giving him a 4-year deal, according to ESPN's Todd Archer. The Spurs split in Paris with the Pacers falling 136-98 Saturday. They return to action Wednesday against the Clippers. I'm Rob Thompson on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Sports Center is brought to you by Buyers Barricades, the Texas authority in barricade rental. BuyersBarricades.com.
Your home for the Dallas Cowboys is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. From the studios of San Antonio Sports Star, reaching more sports fans than any station in South Texas. Welcome to the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson. This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Halfway there, boys. I'm fighting the good fight, Rob.
I was going to ask, how you doing?
I'm fighting the good fight. You're like a little obnoxiously cheery today. I don't understand.
Here we go.
I don't understand why you're in such a good mood. But, you know.
I'm not in a good mood. I'm just in a normal mood. You are below water. You know what I mean? I'm exactly where I always am. You, on the other hand, are suffering today.
Okay. I mean, I am suffering, but it's like we
have established a championship program. It's just not the world championship yet.
Can we say that about the Bills?
Yeah. Championship level, except like just as long as you realize that not world championship level.
Well, just go print up some footballs and just put a date on it. Say 1961 feels like a good year. Just say you won it back then. That's
Feels
what we
good.
Do. That's what we do.
Feels good.
Yeah, just put it on a football. It has to have happened, right?
All right. The hire of Brian Schottenheimer, especially, like I said, Rob, I mean, I don't think there's any way around it. If you were proud of that hire, Like Adam Schefter was saying, "Oh, Jerry seemed very excited."
No,
we know
he never
Jerry.
said excited. No, let's listen to what Schefter said. Now, the one thing about Schefter is he's a sycophant and he's a suck-up because he wants to make sure the channels remain open. He's not going to make fun of Jerry or anybody that leaks news to him. So he's going to reflect. But notice the words that he used. They never said excited.
I think he did say excited.
He said he's comfortable. That's a big difference.
Somebody that I think most important, Jerry Jones felt very comfortable with.
He said that.
He called Friday night to deliver the news that he had just hired Brian Schottenheimer and that Brian Schottenheimer, a career assistant, is no longer a career assistant. He's now the head coach of the Dallas Cowboys. Jerry Jones sounded awfully excited about this. Brian Schottenheimer, somebody that
he's excited. He's comfortable. I got a guy I can control from the get-go.
But let me ask you this: if you were excited about it, we know Jerry.
Oh, well.
We know, like, why wasn't there
excited? Are you? So you told me at 6:30 on a Friday night when everybody's at the bar celebrating happy hour, getting ready for a playoff game.
Seems like an odd time.
Not like you did with Dak, an hour before kickoff when everybody was already in the office. You were pretty excited then. What's this?
If Jerry had hired Ben Johnson, he would have done that in the pregame of the Eagles game.
Oh, yes. It would have been right before the last game had gotten. Hey, wait, we can't go off the air yet. Jerry's got something to say. No. You're right. There is no pride in this. Or at least he looks at – they knew full well what was coming.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cowards.
Yeah. And Michael Irvin is not thrilled about this hire. Now, I'll say this. I'm not like Claymore says, the fact that Cowboys don't include Troy, Emmett, or Michael input on they don't give them input on hire is frustrating. I don't know that should be the case either.
Well,
I don't know that
what do they say?
Players should have any say in what the future of the franchise. Like,
what do they say about coaches? If you listen to fans, you'll end up being one. You'll end up sitting with them. So I get all that, but there is something to be said. And as Spur fan, I speak from this. There's something to be said about understanding the corporate mentality above and apart from yourself. It's like having a board of directors from other companies that come in and sit with you. It's good to have Troy Aikman and Michael Irvin and Emmett and others former pros look at you and go, you know what, boss? You know what, Jerry? You're making a mistake here. As your friend, as a guy who knows the game, I'm telling you this. And Jerry pushes them away. I think all of them would very much like to play a bigger role, but Jerry refuses to let that happen. And it's not about anything other than Jerry just doesn't want to hear anything other than I'm doing the right thing from his yes men.
Well, that is not what he's hearing from Michael Irvin now.
Here's my issue. We lost an opportunity here. I don't know what will happen with Coach Schottenheimer and the Dallas Cowboys, but Jerry's a shrewd businessman, and this opportunity, I'm shocked he did not see. I was pushing for Deion Sanders to be the next head coach, and I still stand 10 toes down on that push.
First of all, I think the idea of Deion Sanders being the head coach is absurd. Like, I thought it was absurd the first time I heard it.
I agree. It was an absurd idea, but it warranted that it was more of a reflection of where Jerry and the Cowboys are, that Deion was even a viable candidate.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Now, that wasn't – Michael Irvin continues. And now – so what he said there was, I'm frustrated that they didn't look at Deion harder, or that we may have missed out on an opportunity for Deion. And when Jerry hears that, he's going to go, oh, okay, well, whatever, you know. But here's where he's starting to say some things that when Jerry hears them, his brow's going to furrow a little bit. He ain't going to be real thrilled about.
We have 2 NFC East teams in the NFC Championship game being played tomorrow. 2 NFC East teams in the NFC Championship game being played tomorrow. Our eyes on them. The Philadelphia Eagles and the Washington Commanders. Our enemies on all fronts. and they're holding a position that we haven't held in 30 years. First of all, we're losing ground on this NFC. That's 30 damn years. 40 years is a generation. Right here, right now is critical mass. It was time to bring somebody in here that could shake things up and grab this last leg of Cowboys Nation.
Yeah. We said that 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Said that 20 years ago.
Well, I mean, they've certainly lost ground. Well, here is the last comment from 88 that, again, Jerry ain't going to be real happy to hear.
If we got 30 years right now, life expectancy is 100 years. That means by math, a third of Cowboys Nation has never felt or lived the glory of a championship story. Don't even know about it. How the hell can they pass something on down or pass it down when they don't even know about it? In 10 years, that would have been a generation that knows nothing about a championship from the so-called America's team. And worse yet, that generation has seen total domination from a team named the Kansas City Chiefs, who in that span is running up on winning 3 in a row. 3 in a row. So not only are you losing football games over here and opportunities over here, even divisions over here, you're about to get our moniker snatched off our backs.
About to.
Give me that.
America's team. Give me that.
He's so right. I mean, all of that is the narrative. And you wonder, there was a time, and it wasn't that long ago, that, the 49ers ruled the earth.
Oh, yeah.
And, they disappeared. You wonder where the Cowboys are true. Can the Cowboys slip into like the Nebraska of football and just become the franchise that was? I remember a day that, and it'll never happen again. I mean, Nebraska never going to be good again, ever.
I don't think so.
I don't see how they're ever going to do it. But there was a time. And have we finally reached that point that the Cowboys will never be what they were until the Jones family is no longer involved?
That's entirely possible.
Are we at the descension, the end of the
we've reached
the epoch of the Cowboy era? The Roman civilization fell, and they didn't realize it was over till it was over. And I think the Cowboys have fallen. It's over.
I think it is like a critical mass. Like this is, you can't turn back. Like I don't expect. I used to think the Cowboys were going to push so hard and get like that. There was, they could compete with anybody because I thought that Jerry was the kind of guy who was going to push so hard that they were always going to be there. But this move is the opposite of that. This is not.
And you'd think that Steven played a role in this. Maybe it should have been even a bigger role, knowing full well the situation he finds with his father. But it's when he does take over, he's been around Jerry so long, it's here's to the new boss. He's the same as the old boss. It's right. There's not going to be anything new when he finally ascends to the throne. And if he is playing a role in this, if he really did push McCarthy out and played the biggest role in bringing in Shoddy, oh, my gosh, it could actually get worse.
Yeah. No, it really could. This is this does feel like almost a white flag. Like, we know we're not going to win. Let's just keep trying to make some money. Let's just ride this thing out.
What did Cowherd say on Friday? And I hate to quote him, but he said it, and it was apropos. Congratulations, Dallas. Now you're Jacksonville. You're officially the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Kind of feels that way.
What's their coach, Liam Neeson?
Liam Cohen. No. I know they have a star on their helmet still, and that takes you. But like what Michael Irvin's saying, that like at some point people forget about that.
I'm telling you, you just feel like the wheels have fallen off, and there's other things to see and do. Like you guys got to be very careful here, or you are truly going to be a dinosaur. Like remember when and never to be back.
I have a 17-year-old son who has never known the Dallas Cowboys to be a relevant football franchise.
I have a 30-year-old son who's never seen it, has a picture wearing a shirt when he was a baby.
Yeah.
But that's it.
So It's getting close to that, to where you're just a remember when franchise.
It's just so hard to fathom, because on the other side of that coin, AJ, there was a time when my 23-year-old son had never known a year where the Spurs weren't in the playoffs. That literally every year for 2 decades, death taxes Spurs playoffs.
Yeah.
And the flip side of that is 30 years of nothing.
Right.
I can't imagine that life. And I hear you bitching about being Buffalo and all that. It's hard for me to, at least I do have those trophies in my past that I lived through, that I can say I saw it, I did it, I lived it. To be a generation to have to deal with this crap and never have actually had the pleasure of at least watching a parade, of seeing your guys celebrate, that sucks, man.
Yep.
Sucks.
All right, let's hit a break. We'll continue this Cowboys conversation. We also have some stuff to give away. Scotty McCreery is playing the San Antonio Rodeo. We got tickets to that. So if anybody wants to go see Scotty McCreery, stay tuned. And if you like melted cheese and melted chocolate, we've got a $50 gift card to give away to the Melting Pot. We'll do that as well. So plenty of reasons to stick around. It's the Morning Huddle on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
South Texas, get ready for the ultimate sports talk experience. The one and only Rich Eisen is on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star. Every weekday, noon to 2 p.m. With over 20 years of NFL experience, Rich Eisen brings breaking stories, expert analysis, and exclusive interviews with sports legends to your airwaves with unmatched wit, insight, and passion. Catch all the action every weekday, noon to 2 p.m. The Rich Eisen Show, only on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Injuries happen, and when they do, skip the ER and get to the Ortho Now Injury Clinic by TSAOG Orthopedics and Spine. Ortho Now provides walk-in care for injuries like broken bones, dislocations, sprains, and strains. Conveniently located in the Quarry area with extended hours Monday through Saturday with on-site x-ray casting and bracing, Ortho Now has everything you need to treat your injury, and best of all, no urgent care or emergency room copay. Learn more online at tsaog.com.
Milo's Rewards Week is coming, and it's kind of a big deal. Members, get ready for 7 days of up to 40% off store-wide on hundreds of items. Save on the top brands in bath, tools, paint, and more. Our biggest member deals are on January 30th through February 5th. So if you're not a loyalty member, now's the time to join for free. Lowe's knows home improvement. Loyalty program subject to terms and conditions. Details at lowes.com/terms. Subject to change.
Hi, I'm Jason Thompson, and I've represented folks here in San Antonio injured by negligent drivers for more than 30 years. If you or a family member has been seriously injured, I want you to call me, Jason Thompson, at 210-900-0400. I've heard from many of my clients that after they were involved in a collision, they would get phone calls asking them to hire an attorney. This is highly irregular and probably illegal. Any attorney that is trying to contact you either directly or through a marketing company is not the kind of attorney that you should trust with such a serious matter. Quite frankly, it's creepy. If you call me, we will speak directly. If you hire me, it will be after you and I have talked. I will explain what I can do for you, and you can decide what you would like me to do next. The phone call and the consultation are free. Getting a smart result requires that you make smart decisions along the way, and that's my job, to help you and your family make smart decisions, and that's based on more than 30 years of experience. If you've been injured in an accident, call me, Jason Thompson, at 210-900-0400, or go to my website, alawyerforus.com.
Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds. With that kind of money, you could go big time on a fancy water bottle with ultra titanium alloy metal. You're not sure why you need all that. I mean, it just holds water. But you're getting it anyway, because if you're hiking near an active volcano and you accidentally drop the bottle into molten lava, your water will still be icy cold. Switch to Progressive and you could save big time. For water bottles. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states. Potential savings will vary.
Getting your guaranteed maximum refund with TaxSlayer feels like saddling up and chasing down.
Look at that sweet moolah!
That big old cash cow.
Look at all that money!
File with TaxSlayer Simply Free and get your guaranteed maximum refund. Simply Free is available to a limited number of taxpayers. See taxslayer.com for eligibility.
On Super Sunday, you could be the crunch time hero. PorkRinds.com is bringing you a game-changing twist to your big day because it's also Pork Rind Appreciation Day. The crispy, crunchy, crave-worthy snack you love deserves its moment. PorkRinds.com is celebrating by giving you a chance to win tickets to the 2026 big game in Santa Clara. Enter at PorkRinds.com and become your own crunch time hero. This Super Sunday, make sure your snack game is on point. Celebrate Pork Rind Appreciation Day. Get in on the action at PorkRinds.com.
You're locked on the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
It's showtime!
Manny, where was Amari Cooper yesterday? Disappeared as usual. They don't let Amari Cooper on the field.
He's
they don't. He's a non-factor for the Bills. So
I think we've seen the end of the Amari Cooper career.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that Samuel was out there a lot, Mac Hollins was out there a lot. I mean, Shakir's the number one. He's going to be out there all the time. But, yeah, Cooper's just way down the pecking order.
He's stolen money for the last 4 years. Stolen it.
Yeah. But whatever. I don't think Amari Cooper not having a big day was the reason the Bills lost.
Oh, but it would have been nice. I mean, there was a reason why he was, chased, why they did go get him, because a functioning Amari Cooper would have mattered. But the Cowboys could have told you long before Buffalo and Cleveland, the brighter it gets, he's sunglasses, man.
Yeah.
He can't handle the bright.
He's just not. They're not. He's not long for that spot.
Oh, no,
he's
not long for the NFL. He's done, man.
Let's do this. Let's do Scotty McCreery. You want to go see Scotty McCreery?
Now, he won The Voice, right? No, not The Voice. He won one of those talent shows, because I remember that name.
Like American Idol or something?
Or it might have been American. Or if he didn't win, he was real close to the end.
I don't know Scotty McCreery from.
He sounded like Randy Travis. Real deep voice.
Okay. Are you playing Scotty McCreery, Vic? Is that what you're pulling
if
up?
If there's anything that we could.
I hear like waves in the background. This is his song?
Little white noise.
Oh, he won. He did win American Idol.
So he did win it. Oh, yeah. I'm ready for the rodeo, man. I live out by the Gerlach Farm up there off Babcock for the North Side FFAs, and they had they all gather right before the rodeo. It's kind of like my signpost that here it comes, and they were all out there last week, so I'm ready. You go to this show, you're going to get something later.
Yeah, you are.
I can just tell you.
I'll tell you that.
I don't need to know anything else, but if you take the right woman, you're going to be all right. Or the right dude. You're going to be all right. You won't be cold.
All right. Hey, man.
Well, there you go.
That's your mainstream country right there.
Well, there you go. Scotty McCreery. I feel. How old is this guy?
He looks young.
He's 31.
You lose Scotty at 30.
Yeah, let's go with Scott McCreery.
That's his dad.
You're 31, man. Scotty?
Yeah, there is an age at some point.
Well, you just can't do that.
But he's holding on to it, man. He looks young.
All right. But if you want to go see Scotty McCreery at the Stock Show Rodeo, then let's go caller number 8. You can go see Scotty McCreery. And let's do the Melting Pot gift card for the Brigade Bar. Even though they pissed me off today, they're all trolling me about the Bills losing.
Yeah, your Josh is floating in the wind.
Yeah.
Flapping out there in the wind.
Let's see. What's a good trivia question about today's show?
I mean, that first hour was just utter sadness.
It was.
Yeah, it was.
Sadness.
It was a lot of sadness.
Bitterness.
I don't know. Let's do.
Oh wait, what about that food that you ordered that Rob would never order.
Oh, that's a good
idea.
one. That's
Yep.
right. Giacomo's.
Yes.
What do you order? That's a good one.
I order something new all the time, but that's what I had the last time.
Order?
Yeah. But Rob would never
No,
order.
I would never have
Me
that.
neither.
Yeah. So first person to put that in the Brigade Bar, you guys will go get a $50 gift card to the Melting Pot.
You ever had Hassenpfeffer?
Nope.
Hassenpfeffer?
Last time I heard that was
Hassenpfeffer?
a Bugs Bunny cartoon.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Hassenpfeffer?
The Melting Pot, located in at 14855 Blanco Road. They've completed an exciting restaurant renovation celebrating 20 years in San Antonio. Make fondue memories and enjoy a new modern look and feel in an elevated bar. Perfect for down to fondue happy hour with half-price cheese and chocolate fondue every Monday through Friday from 5 to 7 p.m. Looks like Ram is the winner. So
Ramiro.
Yeah, they were close in the beginning, but
Hassenpfeffer. I would swear this was carrots.
right?
Yeah. Corey says, AJ, put your big boy pants on. Hell, welcome to the club. Cowboys fans feel this way every day, and we still have to smile and wave.
Thank you. You can throw Aggies in there, too.
The difference is, Cowboy fan, you guys did all your bitching and crying as the season went on. Like, there was never a crescendo.
Who would you rather be today?
Today, this very day?
This day, a year ago today, a year ago prior to that, a year ago prior to that. Who would you rather be a fan of?
I mean, obviously, but I would rather be a fan of the Bills.
Because you still have hope. You wake up tomorrow, and you've still got Josh Allen. You've still got McDermott. You've still got a young circle of dudes that you're going to be mentioned in the 5 possible teams to win a Super Bowl next year. You're going to wake up to that tomorrow. It's going to suck because you missed it. You know what I wake up to?
Brian Schottenheimer.
Brian Schottenheimer announcement. I wake up to, you know what? As a Cowboy fan, I have the highest paid player in the history of the league as my quarterback.
Mm-hmm. And you don't even know if he's good.
I don't even know if he's going to need another foot brace. Is he going to wear a brace on both legs next year? Maybe. I don't know. My situation is so far removed from yours that it's hard for me to have any pity. As I watched your favorite team and your guy lose in the AFC Championship game. Now, again, sadly, it was again. Damn, I haven't played this late in 20 years, man.
Yeah.
I haven't had anything to do last week and over the weekend and forever.
But how often has your team gotten there to the very end and then lost?
Oh, it sucks. It sucks to be you today. It does, dude. But you know how much more fun you had this year than I did? You know, the oodles of fun that you had and all the. And you still have a future. I don't even have a future.
I think it's important to remember, and maybe I should put it into perspective too, that the Bills were picked to be 3rd place in their own division. Like, there were serious people who thought the Jets and Dolphins were better than this Bills team.
Mm-hmm.
At least I'm not one of those people. At least I'm not someone who said the New York Jets were going to be better than the Buffalo Bills.
And you
this
know
year.
what? All of that combined, but the sad part of it at the end, when we really look at where we are all the Buffalo Bills until Mahomes retires. Until something happens in Kansas City, all of us are the Buffalo Bills. We could win 11, 14, 16 games. We're still the Bills. We ain't playing for the title because that dude in Kansas City's still here. Until he's gone, we're all in your boat. We just win a few more or a few less games during the regular season.
You mean the villain?
The villain, the Death Star.
The villain. He really is. That whole team is villains. Travis Kelce's the biggest villain. Swear to God.
They're TV preachers. They act nice, but behind the scenes, they're doing something. There's something going on. I don't trust them.
I was so mad that they threw a flag when that guy got in Kelce's face because all he does is go get in people's face after every play. And then I wish someone would just,
Can we make fun of Pat Mahomes spiking the football?
Oh,
Can we make fun of that? I mean,
unfortunately, he did it right after he scored a touchdown.
Yeah, I know, but
dude, that was kind of funny.
Don't do that again. That was awkward.
It was.
Give it to your tight end. You might throw out your shoulder.
Anyone? Yeah, that was. Maybe he did it on purpose. He played it off like he did
just
it on purpose.
to prove that he is in fact human and
Yeah,
not some kind of
he
football
played it off
robot.
like he did it on purpose.
Oops, flub the spike.
Not sure. Not sure that's how it was intended. But I will say this: now that it's out of the way, the Bills are done. I don't have a rooting interest in this Super Bowl. I'm not opposed to seeing more greatness, and that means a three-peat.
Yeah, there's something
like
to
the
it.
idea of it is. I mean, I guess it's an interesting story.
Let's mark the tape. 8:28 on the Monday, 2 weeks prior to the Super Bowl, and we haven't suffered this. So next Monday at 8:30, we should check our altitude. Are we still down with seeing this possible three-peat? Because I get the sense by the time we get to kickoff, I'm going to hate Kansas City with a white-hot passion.
What if I told you could make a deal right now? Kansas City will win this game, but then that's the end
Then it's
of it.
over. I'd be all in.
I would be
It'd be
too.
perfect. It'd be the perfect ending. Cowboy rides away. Reed retires.
When
Kelsey's
I
go
say it's over,
podcast.
I mean
No, it's
they're
over.
never back in a
Yeah.
Super Bowl ever. They're never even back in an AFC championship. Like, this is it.
And Mahomes has to go through the end of a career like Manning did, or not Manning, but like quarterbacks that normally leave, battered and beaten and trying to get something
Yes.
they never get again.
Yeah, that's what I want to happen. Like, I want to see. Okay, got 3 in a row. It was incredible. Got 4 and 5 years. Incredible. But I don't want to see any more of
Let's
it.
turn the page. Let's see the next chapter.
Yeah, I'm ready for. I don't know who it is. I don't know if it's Josh. I don't know if it's Joe Burrow. I don't know if it's Lamar Jackson. I'm just ready for someone else to take the crown, like take over. And it's not that even doing that at this point wouldn't change that. Oh, like from a legacy standpoint, Patrick Mahomes is always going to be looked at as better than all of those guys, and that's fine. But I just want someone. I want fresh blood. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm very aware. But that's not how these kind of epochs go. The way that New England finally died, they didn't die. Brady left.
Yeah.
New England would still be here, I think, if Brady was still playing. We'd have had him for 3 more years. But Brady left. That's the only reason that went away, and it won't go away until Mahomes leaves.
Claymore says, are we sure Commanders will win? Allen, Burrow, or Jackson are entering year 8. Yeah, listen, man. The Commanders may never be that far along again. Like, I as great as Jaden Daniels is, like, their flaws are so great. They don't have an offensive line. They've got a terrible defense. They can't run the ball. Like, they've got plenty of issues. They may never be back. So, and they're the Washington Commanders. Like, let's just call it what it is.
It could be a house of cards. I don't know.
Yeah, and I'll say the same thing this morning. I said after the Texans season ended last year, what we just saw of Jaden Daniels, he's not going to be that next year.
No, more difficult
he will take a
schedule
step back.
and film. Yeah,
he will take a step back. The league adjusts, and I'm not saying that he's going to be a dud. I'm just saying if he does next year what he did this year, then we're talking about a guy who's going to be an all-time great. But don't be surprised if he takes a step back. And it doesn't mean that he's not a good player anymore, because I still think C.J. Stroud's got a lot of future. But I knew there was no way he could do what he did in year 1 and year 2.
The comparison to last year's Texans with this team is really close. They're very close. I think the Texans are sadly more talented, though, and they still suffered through it. There's more talent on the Texans team.
Yeah. He says, AJ, we heard that about the 49ers, but here we are. I don't know what he's talking about.
The comeback after Purdy.
Oh.
They were tough.
Well, yeah.
But they weren't reliant on Purdy the way that the other teams are relying on their quarterback. Purdy was a functionary.
Yeah.
They're like I would compare the 49ers to the Eagles far more than I would compare Buffalo and
yeah. I mean, these teams that are quarterback driven
Yeah.
are just different.
Very different situations.
And they're the ones who typically win. Let's face it. Like, now the Eagles, it's a great story. Like the Eagles being where they are right now, and like, cool. They're a good team. I think defensively they're very good, and obviously it's an old school mentality to run the football the way they do. It's an old school game, defense and running. But at the end of the day, if you say who do you think is going to win when they play a team with like a real quarterback? I'm going to take the Chiefs. I don't know which team I'm going to take because that running game is a different animal than the Chiefs have seen. And as we get closer and closer, this is not the same kind of running game as the Ravens. It's very different structure. Yep.
Nobody has seen that this year. That's why they've been so successful. And that might be enough to turn the tide. We'll wait and see how that goes over the next couple of weeks. But it's going to be how much credit do you give the offensive player of the year against the MVP?
Yeah. No, that's a good point.
Or the greatest, or the GOAT would be the best one.
Freedom Ride says A.J. Washington is years ahead of Dallas. Well, I mean, that's debatable. I don't know. I mean, I will say this. I like Washington's current situation a lot more than I like Dallas's because Washington has a quarterback on the cheap for the next 4 years, and Dallas has the highest priced quarterback in the world, and I'm not sure which one of them's better.
No, you just
like today. I don't know which one's better.
The Cowboys probably have a little bit more talent on the roster just because the upper end.
I think so too.
But as sum total, no, I'd much rather be in the red or the Commanders boat.
Yeah. All right. You know what we do at 8:30 on Mondays?
Pretty easy.
We talk about the losers. We'll do that next. Morning Huddle 94.1.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star Traffic from News Talk 550 KTSA.
Good morning. We did clear one of our trouble spots, 281 southbound just past Bitters. That wreck is cleared. Still have the stall at 35 northbound at Evans. That is taking up a right lane. 35 southbound FM 1103 on down to Randolph Boulevard should take you about 15 minutes or so. And a 20-minute ride on Highway 90 eastbound from 211 on over to Hunt Lane. I'm Debbie Alcacer, KTSA Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Taco Bell. The slow-roasted Cantina chicken menu is here to stay with ingredients like purple cabbage and freshly prepared pico de gallo. Try it today at participating U.S. Taco Bell locations while supplies last. Contact store for participation, which varies.
Smoky Moe's is the best neighborhood barbecue in San Antonio. Tailgating or game watching? Create your own party pack with your choice of meats, including brisket, turkey, sausage, and home-style sides, including our new bacon cheddar potatoes. Smoky Moe's barbecue gets its delicious flavor and aroma from quality meats prepped with our unique spice blend. Smoked low and slow over post oak, in-house, every day. Smoky Moe's is great Texas barbecue, served fast and friendly with 8 locations. Find the one near you at SmokyMoe'sBarbecue.com. Smoky Moe's, the pit is lit.
Score big with LS Tractors at Dietz Tractor in Seguin, the MVPs of the field. LS Tractors, the star quarterbacks of farming, perfect for tough tasks for farm, ranch, and landscaping. Dietz Tractors has your all-star coaching staff for top-notch equipment. They're not just selling tractors, they're building lasting relationships with unmatched dealer support for parts and maintenance. It's a winning strategy that goes beyond the final whistle. Don't miss the game-winning move. 0% financing available with approved credit on LS Tractors. Start blue, stay blue at Dietz Tractor in Seguin.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health San Antonio will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 210-615-7777. That's 210-615-7777. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Okay, I have to tell you, I was just looking on eBay where I go for all kinds of things I love, and there it was.
That hologram trading card. One of the rarest, the last one I needed for my set. Shiny like the
designer handbag of my dreams. One of a kind. eBay had it, and now everyone's asking, ooh, where'd you get your
windshield wipers? eBay has all the parts that fit my car. No more annoying, just beautiful.
Whatever you love, find it on eBay. eBay, things people love.
Getting your guaranteed maximum refund with TaxSlayer feels like saddling up and chasing down.
Look at that sweet moolah!
that big old cash cow.
Look at all that money!
File with TaxSlayer Simply Free and get your guaranteed maximum refund. Simply Free is available to a limited number of taxpayers. See TaxSlayer.com for eligibility.
It's the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
I'm been locked inside your heart-shaped box. 4 weeks. God, I do feel like there's a cancer eating at me.
Slowly.
Man.
I wish Rob would eat
Wallowing.
my cancer when...
Wallow in it, baby.
I know how Kurt Cobain I know how Kurt Cobain must have felt right before
It happened.
Courtney Love staged his suicide.
Wow. Right before, yeah.
Miserable at the life choices I made.
The team you picked.
I know. That could have been so much easier for me.
Yeah, it's so random. You could have easily been a Chiefs fan. I mean, Buffalo, that's down here. Just say you're a Buffalo fan. You could have easily chosen so much better.
Well, I mean, I grew up with Jim Kelly playing for the Houston Gamblers. If Jim Kelly would have gotten drafted by any other team, that's probably where I would have gone.
Yeah.
It's I don't know.
But he was in Houston for what, a year? 2 years?
2 years.
I mean, you jumped on that bandwagon. You could have easily jumped off.
I know.
I'm just saying you chose.
Well, it's too late now.
I know it sucks. I mean, you cannot change your fandom no matter how hard you try. People, I say I'm out on whatever team, but they always check the box scores and they keep those T-shirts in the drawer just in case. They say they're out. I'm not. Oh no, never again. No, don't throw them away because they might get good again.
Alexandra's trying to make me feel better. Thank you, Alexandra. Unlike Claymore, who's just like, for whatever reason,
man,
he's just like celebrating my pain. I don't understand why. I'm always nice to Claymore, but he's
Necio.
It's terrible. Terrible what he's doing.
Poking at you.
All right. Let's dig into what we always do around this time on Mondays and talk about the losers.
You lose. You are such a loser. You're a bona fide schmuck.
Time now to find out who blew it this weekend. The losers.
You bunch of losers! Look who's back. It's the loser.
I'm going back to a better class of losers.
With AJ and Rob on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star.
Hello, losers.
There was plenty of losers this weekend, even with not a whole bunch of games. Plenty of losers around. I'll start, and I'll go with Dan Quinn. It's one thing to have your team come up short at the end. It's another to give up 55 in the championship game when you're supposed to be some sort of defensive wizard. Now, a lot of that came on turnovers. They couldn't hold on to the football, but Dan Quinn, that's not what you want to walk away. That's not the note you want to end the season on, giving up 55 freaking points to a running football team, mind you. That's assault, brother. So I think Dan Quinn falls into the loser category this week.
He does. It was gravy. I mean, they were happy to be there, and it got out of hand. But, yeah, D.C. getting hammered like that. Aggie basketball. I mean, they're even Steven. I mean, they stole one at Ole Miss and had one. They had their cookies taken there in Austin on Saturday. A 20-point lead collapses late. Haven't won in Austin since, 2002, 11 consecutive roadies there. And that's a good basketball team that just got mojoed. They're losers not because they're a bad basketball team. They're losers because they let the Austin environment get to them. They had a 20-point lead in the second half.
They were dominating that
let
game.
A couple of calls go the other way, and I'll maintain that the Aggies are going to be dangerous if they can ever learn to shoot. You lost not because of anything other than your ineptitude. That wasn't Texas. That was you.
They weren't the biggest losers this weekend in college basketball, I don't think, because the Kansas Jayhawks, that loss to Houston,
what a game, man!
Oh, that was I think it's the best game I've seen this year. But it felt like they lost that, or it felt like they lost that game 3 different times. Like
they got bodied, is what happened to them.
They were up with 1 minute and 9 seconds left in regulation. They were up 6, and they somehow blow that, and now have to go to overtime. They were up 6 with 8 seconds to go in overtime and blew that.
Yep.
And then they lose in double OT. Now, a lot of this is that Houston team is awesome. It's just a bunch of dogs. But you can't be up 6 points with 8 seconds left after you already blew the lead once. That is the epitome of loser.
Yeah, that was
back-to-back losses at Fog too. I don't remember the last time that happened.
It's been a minute. They have a problem. They're front heavy. Big man Dickinson is a one-trick pony. Is not a very good offensive rebounder for his size.
Well, and Adams being out, he's the only guy on that team that has any toughness.
Yeah,
plays
KJ Adams is their dude. So I'm not discounting them. That's a Final Four team. They're capable of both those teams are Final Four teams. Both of them are capable of it. But the dog won. The tough guys went into Fog Allen. You don't see that happen very often because they not only had to come over the Jayhawks, they had to overcome the refs. They got the same problem. You go into Fog Allen, you're playing 8. I mean, it's just you're playing against the Jayhawks and the legend of Fog Allen. So that was a hell of a win from Sampson and his team. That's one of those springboard kind of wins.
Yeah.
My next loser, and he's not a loser because I don't.
It's okay to call people losers.
Well,
bro.
Schottenheimer ain't a loser because he hadn't done anything. He hadn't done anything.
Hadn't had a chance to
lose.
He
is a blank slate, but he's a loser in that the situation he finds himself today. He knew exactly where he was jumping. I mean, he had to know that the moment they name me, it's going to come at me hard for a couple of weeks. And his owner did him no service. His owner should have at least acted like he was happy to have him. Should not have news dumped him. That's just not fair. It was already going to be hard on Schottenheimer. It was already going to be tough. But the dude that hired him was so ashamed of the hire that it was a news dump at 6:30. He's a loser because of the situation that he chose to be in. You never want to be the guy to replace the guy, but you never want to step into a situation where you are such an obvious hand puppet that you've already started 5 feet behind where you should have been. I mean, he has stepped into a situation where he has to be dead solid perfect. There is no room for error for this guy because you are just chaff. You're just a name. McCarthy at least had some creed, had some leverage and some weight to him. You're just a dude, a name that could be fired in the middle of next season because, quite frankly, you're not even a head coach. You just got elevated as an OC interim.
Yeah, that's what it feels. It does feel like an interim hire, which is weird.
Yeah,
but that's what it feels like.
You've been hired to be fired.
I think the NFL lost. I know everyone thinks that the NFL really wanted Mahomes and they really wanted and maybe they did. I'm sure the idea of a Bills-Commanders matchup was nightmarish for them. But I really do think that, if I had you guess what Super Bowl will be higher rated, the Bills or the Chiefs Eagles first one or this one, what do you think the answer will be?
The first one.
I think so too.
Yeah, I mean, it's always going to. This is.
I think there's people who are just they're out.
Well, I think the first one, we didn't know a whole lot about Jalen Hurts. He was still on his ascension. He could have been, he was headed toward different things. We thought he was going to be greater than he is. And now, over the last couple of years, we know who Jalen Hurts is, and he ain't that. He ain't what we thought he was going to be.
Well, I'm not. I don't think that the NFL is going to be pleased with the final results of this thing.
Well, I will say this though, AJ. they are going to push this three-peat to the point where you're almost going to have to tune in at some point just to see if it happens to say you were there. Other than that, no, there's not a lot of compelling story here.
Do you think the NFL? I mean, I guess the NFL likes these dynasties, like New England but do you think it's a lot? Do you think it's better when you've got different teams winning every year?
No, I do think that leagues are better, and I keep using the term because it just sticks with me, when there is a Death Star, when there is that thing out there that we all have to measure up to, and if we don't measure up to that, we're never going to do it. So I do think there's something to it. But the ideal situation is to be like the San Antonio Spurs. Have the Death Star out there, but only win it every couple of years. You know, have somebody step in knowing full well that this team is still hanging around out there, and they'll be back next year, so you're going to have to maintain. The NBA had it great for 20 years. You don't want 3 out of 4. No matter what, you get tired of it. Only the hometown fans are truly excited about the third one.
Another loser, the Bills. I don't know if it's their draft scouts, the GM. I don't know who it is. The Bills draft guys. First of all, the last 2 first-round picks that the Bills have made were probably 2 of the guys with the most egg on their face after the game. 2023 first-round pick Dalton Kincaid, who had a ball hit him in the hands that could have been a game-changing play, dropped it. And 2022 first-round pick Kaiir Elam, who once he came into the game due to an injury was just picked on constantly. But even more than that, it's what they didn't do and the guys that they didn't draft. And Patrick Mahomes, who the Bills let the Chiefs draft Patrick Mahomes. The Bills let the Chiefs draft Xavier Worthy. Stop doing business with terrorists.
Well, they're not doing business. Maybe they should be.
Stop it. Say, we will not negotiate with you. If the Chiefs call you, hang up.
Who did they get instead of Worthy?
They traded down and got Keon Coleman. I like Keon Coleman, right. but no, and the Bills would have never drafted Xavier Worthy because he's not the kind of receiver they were looking for. But you can't let the Chiefs get him because that's exactly what they're looking for. They're looking for that guy who's like the fastest guy in the world. You just got over an era where they had the fastest guy in the world, and it sucked. Don't let them they knew that's who he was going to.
Well, how do you not? What do you do? Draft just because?
No, you let somebody else trade with him. You draft the guy you want, and you hope that no one else gives the Chiefs what they want. That's all you can do.
I would agree. Don't do business with you.
Don't do business with the Chiefs. If they call you, you just hang up. You can't deal with them. Can't. Losers.
They have a deal you can't pass up.
I got one more. Oh, go ahead. You got one
Florida State. Mike Norvell just lost another 5 or 4-star quarterback. You're keeping tabs, over the last 3 months, Florida State has lost 3 4-star or better quarterbacks that have decommitted and transferred. The most recent one, this kid Smigel, who was going to be their quarterback next year. Odds on, he had hung through, he got there late, committed and all that. Well, after Ohio State wins, he decommits, and then suddenly a picture shows up of Brian Kelly in his living room.
Oh, God.
Norvell, you're the loser here. That's your third. You've lost like 15 stars a quarterback in the last 3 months. Well done, man. That's tough.
Freedom Ride, this is going to blow your mind here. He says, here we go, attacking Kansas City for being in a small TV market. Come on, AJ. It would have been a boring game if the Bills were in it. The Bills would have been expected to lose another Super Bowl. Freedom Ride, you do realize Buffalo is a much smaller market than Kansas City, right?
The smallest market in the NFL.
You realize that, right? Like, you can't act like I'm a small market shamer.
You cannot call the Kansas City Chiefs a small market. You just can't. They play in a small town. Their market is the entirety of the Midwest.
They're a national brand
And as long as Mahomes is there, there are Kansas City Chiefs shirts being worn today in Maine, being worn today in South Florida. No, they're a national brand.
They're just posting the multiple Super Bowl meetings. This is the fourth time that there's been a rematch of quarterbacks.
It doesn't go well.
All 3 times The same guy that won the first one won the second one.
There's a reason why dynasties are born.
Bradshaw over Staubach, Aikman over Kelly.
And every one of them can blame a tight end.
Eli over Tom Brady. Somehow. One more random loser. I don't know if you saw this. The Suns as a franchise are losers. What a loser franchise. Like, they can't do anything right.
Yeah.
Did you see this latest news about Yusuf Nurkic saying that he hasn't talked to Mike Budenholzer for 2 months? Like, what? You mean you haven't talked to
your coach?
That's odd. He hasn't been on the floor since January 7th.
Well, it couldn't happen to a nicer guy. Nurkic is a tool, man.
He said, we don't have a relationship, so it's fine. For me, I'm just going to be a pro and do the best I can, work and stay ready for whatever might be. But there's no chaos or bringing that to this team. They already have plenty of it. Trying to be as professional as I can and work my ass off for something else.
You know how bad things have to be when Nurkic looks like the good guy in the room? Seriously, go back and look at Nurkic's history and the number of tees and the things that he's done. Now, I have no idea what he's like in the locker room. He could be the perfect dude. But when Nurkic is coming out and saying, these guys are this is crazy. This guy, he's a walking tee. He is all about himself and always has been.
Yeah.
And he's... that's a loser. I will say this about the Suns, though. I appreciate Ishbia just like I appreciated Cuban early on and Jerry even then. Hell, it's his boat. I just bought this team. I spent $250 million or nearly, it was $3 billion. I spent some money on this. Let me go do what I want to go do.
Think about the way they got Nurkic was because DeAndre Ayton, another guy that they had who said, I don't want to play here anymore.
And that was for a different coach and different gym. And then Cam Johnson hated it there, too.
Yes. Phoenix is a mess, man. They are a mess franchise. Freedom Right. AJ, come on. The Bills once had a superstar named O.J. Simpson, and they still found a way to suck. Every team's had superstars. Like,
what is he trying to justify?
I don't know. I'm not sure what
that point of. You mean back in 72?
Yeah, I'm not sure what you're going with here. But, okay. Then I guess the Bills suck. That's fine. I get it. You're a Chiefs fan, but you're trying to act like I'm shaming Kansas City for being a small market team that they're not. And I think most people would agree, like you say, boring. Most people would agree that the Chiefs don't play very exciting football.
Pat Mahomes does. The Chiefs don't.
Yeah. And it's effective, but it ain't fun or exciting. It's not pretty.
It was a couple years ago.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, when they were running deep.
When Tyreek Hill left, they work with what they got.
A little Hilaire kid running around. I mean, yeah, they were fun back then. Now it's just imminent.
Now they've got Kareem Hunt
and Samaje Perine.
Kareem Hunt,
one play,
what
one
a good
catch.
guy. What a good guy. All right, 1 hour to go, friends. We got a Mellow Mushroom gift card, a $50 gift card on a Mellow Monday. We'll give that away next. Somebody's gonna be eating from the Mellow Mush. Oh, I love Mellow Mushroom. We'll be back. Morning Huddle 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star, KTFM Floresville.
Ahead of the field and throws it down with a right hand.
Your home for the NBA.
This report is sponsored by Straight Talk Wireless. Don't let data limits hold you back from being the gift master in the family group chat. Switch to Straight Talk Wireless and get real unlimited data on a reliable 5G network. Straight Talk, available at Walmart or straighttalk.com.
Do you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt or personal loans? With credit card debt at all-time highs, Debt Relief Advocates is urgently notifying consumers of debt relief now being made available, designed to aid consumers with out-of-control credit card debt. Those who qualify and enroll for this relief program will only have to pay back a fraction of what they owe. This is not bankruptcy or a debt consolidation loan. This is a relief program that credit card companies would rather you not know about, as it ends your debt nightmare and saves you lots of money. Consumers owing at least $10,000 in credit card debt or personal loans can now take advantage of this debt relief as the cost of living skyrockets. Debt Relief Advocates has established a relief hotline for you to call to learn what debt reduction you may qualify for, so don't wait. For this free information, call the Relief Hotline at 800-505-9603, 800-505-9603, 800-505-9603.
Getting your guaranteed maximum refund with TaxSlayer feels like saddling up and chasing down.
Look at that sweet moolah!
That big old cash cow.
Look at all that money!
File with TaxSlayer Simply Free and get your guaranteed maximum refund. Simply Free is available to a limited number of taxpayers. See taxslayer.com for eligibility.
Morning, Paula.
Morning, Ron.
Another day in Adminville, am I right?
What are you working on? Oh!
You okay?
Your tabs. You have so many open.
Yeah, gotta order lunch for the big client meeting. With great responsibility comes tabs.
I can help. Close all those tabs and open just one, easycater.com. Online ordering from local restaurants, plus tools to save time, stay on budget, track expenses.
One tab to rule them all.
EasyCater, the smarter way to order food for work. Order now at easycater.com.
If you get arrested, get out of jail fast by calling AA Best Bail Bonds, 210-225-2121. Text BAIL to 474747 or online at mybestbailbonds.com. You don't have to call attorneys or anybody else. Don't be forced into a PR bond. If the jail offers you one, make sure you understand the conditions before accepting it. AA Best Bail Bonds. Nobody beats their price. They have payment plans. Call 210-225-2121 or mybestbailbonds.com.
License number 149.
Getting your guaranteed maximum refund with TaxSlayer feels like saddling up and chasing down.
Look at that sweet moolah!
That big old cash cow.
Look at all that money!
File with TaxSlayer Simply Free and get your guaranteed maximum refund. Simply Free is available to a limited number of taxpayers. See taxslayer.com for eligibility.
Progressive knows finding your new home was a dream come true. You wanted a walk-up with central air and a skylight, and you found it. Now, every Friday night, you get to fall asleep to the sound of your downstairs neighbors' dance parties. Progressive can't save you from your noisy neighbors, but we can save you money when you bundle your home and auto with us. Get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers not available in all states.
Shopping with your parents can be embarrassing.
Why would they sell jeans with holes in them? I'm going to speak to the manager.
Mom!
That hoodie is giving. You should get it. YOLO.
Thanks to the Chase mobile app, your kid can shop independently while you keep an eye on their spending. So you can go from...
We can be twinsies.
...to...
How was shopping? Saw you stayed on budget.
Thanks, Mom. Freedom for kids, control for parents. That's family banking from Chase.
Account subject to approval. Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank N.A. member FDIC.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star traffic from News Talk 550 KTSA.
Good morning. We did clear one of our trouble spots, 281 southbound just past Bitters. That wreck is cleared. Still have the stall at 35 northbound at Evans. That is taking up a right lane. 35 southbound FM 1103 on down to Randolph Boulevard should take you about 15 minutes or so, and a 20-minute ride on Highway 90 eastbound from 211 on over to Hunt Lane. I'm Debbie Alcacer, KTSA Time Saver Traffic.
San Antonio Sports Center.
Super Bowl 59 is set for New Orleans as the Philadelphia Eagles will face the Chiefs after the Chiefs held off the Bills 32-29 and the Eagles crushed the Commanders 55-23. The Cowboys have a new head coach promoting offensive coordinator Brian Schottenheimer and giving him a 4-year deal, according to ESPN's Todd Archer. The Spurs split in Paris with the Pacers falling 136-98 Saturday. They return to action Wednesday against the Clippers. I'm Rob Thompson on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Sports Center brought to you by Synergenics Testosterone and Weight Loss. Synergenicshealth.com.
From the studios of San Antonio Sports Star, reaching more sports fans than any station in South Texas. Welcome to the Morning Huddle with AJ Hoffman and Rob Thompson. This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
1 hour to go. Vic, what's wrong with you?
Just tired.
In general?
In general, yeah.
Just wore out?
Yeah, I went to bed late. And
beat you down by the man?
Did you have when did you have your bad food experience?
Like at 2 in the afternoon.
Yesterday?
So, yeah. Well, it wasn't bad food. It was good. It's just too spicy.
It didn't settle with you.
Yeah, the spicy. Yeah, I don't eat Thai food. So.
What made you eat Thai food this time?
Being a nice neighbor. You know.
It was homemade Thai food?
Oh, yeah. She's a Thai chef. Yeah, she's actually a chef.
Okay.
So, I mean, I couldn't turn it down.
But you also, did did she watch you eat it?
Almost.
Kind of. It was good.
It started that way,
sure
and
it was
then
just good.
No, it was good, but it didn't affect me till later.
And you like heat, so it might have been a.
Yeah, I don't mind the heat. It's just she made it not as hot for us because she knows that I can't do spicy the way she likes it, which is, I don't know, was it like ghost pepper hot? There's no way, or the tortilla chip challenge for her. She can just eat that, and she won't bat an eye.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm just miserable all morning.
Jeez. Hey, it's a Mellow Monday.
Yeah.
I like that. Means we're gonna give away a $50 Mellow Mushroom gift card. Mellow Mushroom, it's right up there, Stone Oak area off 1604. Fantastic place if you haven't been. Let's go caller number 8. You're gonna win $50 to go eat up at Mellow Mushroom. Lucky Duck. Yeah. How come they never give us gift cards?
Well, I feel like any restaurant that advertises, we should go there first.
I agree.
So we can tell people exactly what they should be ordering.
I agree. Yep. I agree. But I don't make the rules. I don't make the rules. I should make the rules, but I don't.
Well, no one would listen.
You're right. No,
rules really different than a law.
I have
a lot of rules.
Rules are mostly just suggestions, right?
For me,
yeah.
Anyway.
There's suggestions at my house too.
I have a lot of suggestions.
What's at the top of your list?
What, my suggestions?
Yeah.
Just keep it to yourself. That's the suggestion I get most of the time at home.
Oh,
just keep it to yourself.
You're giving a lot of suggestions.
Yeah, I'm giving a lot of suggestions. I don't have any. The first suggestion from the wife is, hey, just keep it to yourself.
Okay.
It's just a good rule of thumb.
Yeah.
Before you say anything.
Yeah, but if you're thinking about saying something, just don't.
Keep it to yourself.
What good will come from it? I guess over the weekend we didn't get to talk about the big Australian Open final with Jannik Sinner. Congratulations. I know.
Can a sport that is less relevant be pushed on me more?
ESPN has a good deal with these tennis tournaments.
The hell cares?
They do have a good deal with them.
Seriously, what do you think the viewership for the Australian Open was
for the final
on Saturday? I know, but the U.S. Open. I mean, it is such a 4 times a year. Well, no, it's really 3 times a year. The Australian, the U.S., and Wimbledon. And we do get a fair amount of the French, the 4 majors. But they just decide, okay, everybody be a tennis fan. We're going to give you some guys you never heard of.
That's the biggest problem for me is I only know of one tennis. I'm familiar with one tennis player, and once he's out, which he was out in the semifinals, now, and the only reason I am not a fan of any tennis player. I don't know, but you guys are talking about enjoying the greatness that is the Chiefs. I can appreciate what Novak Djokovic has done in his career. It's pretty amazing.
But there's no Djokovic is running around. It's which howitzer is able to keep the ball in bounds on their serves. Whichever howitzer is firing best on this given day wins the men. So I've always been a women's fan just because it's pure tennis. But, now we're getting to the point which howitzer is going to be capable of outserving the other tennis player. So even that's getting dull because it's like UFC. You can only be a howitzer for so long unless you have a skill set that provides more than a year or two. We got all these passing names, and the names I do know, they are always losing.
Yeah.
I mean, when was the last time I saw Coco Gauff win something? Or what's the other one that I'm supposed to be a fan of now? Pagula? Can't win a big one. What's the other American? We got another one. Jordan, right?
Well, I think, isn't Madison Keys the one who won? Isn't she an American?
Madison Keys. See, did she win?
She won, I think, yeah.
Good for her. Now she can go away, and I'll see her in the French Open's next, right?
This was her first one, by the way. Like
finally, we finally had a winner. But
yeah.
The assumption that we're all tennis fans, I just find astounding.
Yeah, I mean,
it's like 4 times a year we're going to show you the biggest lacrosse game in the world, and we're going to want you to care about it for a week.
At least the Australian Open's on in the middle of the night.
Well, but what I'm getting at is when Wimbledon is on, it's the same time frame. When the U.S. Open is on, it's on all day long.
Yeah,
it's on all day. Like we care. Like I have any idea.
And if you got ESPN Plus, that's all there is, man.
And who are these tennis fans? Legit, who are they? I don't know any of them.
I don't know anyone who's watching, but you could probably say the same thing about like all the random college basketball games they post on a Saturday.
But I know
like
college
who's watching
basketball.
Central Michigan versus Eastern Michigan.
I know there's college basketball fans that are just might be scrolling through or channeling through and just find a game. Ain't no tennis dude going, you know what, I'm going to flip through channels and see if I can find some tennis.
Yeah, I don't know. It's not for me, but it is what it is. There's one head coaching job left in the NFL, Rob.
I have a particular candidate I'm rooting for.
The New Orleans Saints, who Joe Brady, the Bills OC, told the Saints, no, I'm going to come back to Buffalo. I'm good.
See, you know, that wouldn't be their best hire. It would be a good hire.
Yeah.
It would be.
Chris Jones said something yesterday after the game. The
defensive lineman.
Yeah, defensive lineman for the Chiefs said,
and an LSU kid.
The Chiefs said, we're going to keep winning until someone hires Steve Spagnuolo as a head coach.
That's a true statement. But hadn't he done this before? Didn't he try to be a head coach? I think he did, didn't he?
Well, I mean, he's been a head coach before.
So
he was a head coach of the Rams way back in the day.
So the dude's been there and done that. He ain't going to be a head coach again. He hates it. He'd have been a head coach again.
I think he'd do it again.
You think so? Dude, you've got the best job in the world.
I think he'll do it.
All you got to do is keep a team scoring slightly less than Pat Mahomes' team. That is the best job in the world.
What like of the guys that are left, who do you think the Saints should hire?
McCarthy.
I kind of think so too.
They're crazy if they don't.
It does seem like it's just kind of worked out where the music stopping, and it's, that's the available job.
It's like the Texans getting Stroud. You can say, he fell into your lap, whatever. You wanted him all along. Now it's an easy decision. You can pass it to your fans like, hey, he was the only one left. We interviewed other guys, whatever the case. I can't imagine hiring anybody else unless McCarthy just asks for the world. But if you haven't interviewed him and closed in on him being the coach, who else is there?
But there's some of the Robert Salehs, those types of guys. Like if that's what
if it's not a retread, and if it's going to be a retread, it better be McCarthy. And again, if you're going to go find a candidate that's not been ahead,
Cliff Kingsbury?
I wouldn't be upset with that. I really wouldn't, because at this point, it's not about qualified; it's about what's your vision.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't have a problem with Kingsbury. In fact, it might be the bolder move. It might be the one where Mickey Loomis is the GM there, actually sees over the curve of the earth and says, McCarthy'd be good for a couple years, but I know what I've got with him. And Kingsbury might just need a fresh set of surroundings and a little bit of money.
By the way, this also pretty much assures that we're going to go another cycle with Brian Flores not being hired as a head coach, who I still think is one of the better coaches out there.
Is that lawsuit done?
I don't know.
You wonder until that's done that nobody will touch him.
I can't imagine there are people who look at him and Robert Saleh and go, yeah, Robert Saleh is better.
Dude, those are see, I hate it when I hear, the Cowboys, they did interview. Those are the Rooney interviews. You know that, right? The reason Saleh and Flores got interviewed at all, by the Cowboys, that
the
was
Cowboys
Rooney
interviewed
stuff.
Leslie Frazier.
Or Frazier.
Yeah.
But the reason they interviewed Frazier and Saleh particularly, that was Rooney stuff. That was it.
I'm sure, because it seems like they already knew who they wanted.
Yeah, that was the only interviews we knew about other than Kellen Moore on Zoom.
So, I don't know what. And Claymore says Saleh agreed to be DC with the 49ers. Well, we've already seen it this cycle. A guy say, the guy for Liam Cohen was like, no, I'm going to be the highest paid OC in the world. And then they said, okay, we fired our GM.
Yeah, congratulations.
Okay, now I'll be the head coach. Like, these guys can change their mind willy-nilly.
But maybe Saleh is the kind of guy who realized, man, I don't want to be a head coach again. This was awful, man. I'd rather make 3/4 the same pay and not deal with the slings and arrows of that job.
Yeah, and he also, so far anyway, this being a head coach in the NFL is a job he's proven to be not good at.
Yeah, and there is some self-reflection. We go, dude, this was awful.
I was really good at this last job. I'm not very good at this one.
And there's nothing wrong with being like Spags and going,
really
you know
good
what?
defensive coordinator.
I'm going to stay and be the best at this.
Yeah. All right. And he says Saints ain't Jags, bro. The Saints are the Jags. They're the same crummy franchise. They're all. Yeah, I don't know what you think the big difference is. Like, it's the Jags. You think that's some kind of great job?
Well, unless you want to coach in London.
Well, I mean, all right. If you think the Jags is somehow a much better franchise to go to than the Saints.
I wonder how long they're going to take to hire. Because, if the Benson family and Loomis in particular, they can wait till everybody shows up for their party. I mean, everybody's showing up in town next week. We'll hold a hell of a press conference.
Yeah. What's the rush now? Is you might as well wait to – I mean, if you want to interview Kellen Moore or Spags, like –
And they might have been. Kellen Moore, I think, is an outside candidate on this.
Yeah. So now's the time to interview guys like that. So, I don't think they have to be in any rush.
When you interview Kellen Moore, though, as an offensive coordinator, you look at what he did and go, well, can you do this without Saquon and without the best offensive line in football?
No.
Kellen Moore, can you do what you just did? Knowing full well I don't got Saquon.
No.
And there's no way I'm ever going to get 5 offensive linemen, the likes of which you just coached for the last year.
Yeah, no, you're not getting that.
That's why he's not employed. That's why
I
he doesn't
think
have
so.
another job.
Yeah.
And maybe he goes, you got a Saquon? You have one of those? If you don't got a Saquon, I'm not very good.
Well, that's like Brian Daboll figuring out that, boy, this whole thing's a lot harder when you don't have Josh Allen. When they give you Daniel Jones instead of Josh Allen.
Wait a minute. I was misled.
It's a lot harder.
He didn't come with me?
All right. I got to tell you guys about Carbach. And I had some sweet, sweet Carbach over this weekend. I was in Houston, picked myself up a 6-pack of Crawford Bach to have at the hotel room. And there's something for everyone in their lineup, including the new Hoplektic, which is a seasonal IPA that they're brewing. Fantastic beer. And now you can get the Ziegenbach. 12 packs of Ziegenbach are all around, new packaging. And if you're still doing dry January, they've got the Free and Easy, their non-alcoholic beers that taste just like beer. Surprisingly, just like beer. Of course, they've got Hopadillo. Of course, they've got Love Street. Those are all over the place. Love Street's their best seller. And it's not just in the, H-E-Bs and the liquor stores. It's in all the bars and restaurants as well. You'd be surprised how many places you're going to find Carbach. So whatever you're doing for the Super Bowl, it's going to be a whole lot better if you do it with some Carbach, whether you're staying in, going out, however you do it, have yourself some Carbach.
94.1 San Antonio Sports Star Traffic from News Talk 550 KTSA.
Good morning. As you get into your midday commute on 410 westbound Perrin Vital, accident, left shoulder blocked. On 410 northbound at 151, that stall off to the shoulder. And we did clear that stall at 151 eastbound at Petranco. Your travel time along 35 southbound Evans on down to 410 should take you about 5 minutes or so. Now, if you guys see something we're not talking about, call us on the traffic tip line so we can check it out. 210-785-2601. I'm Debbie Alcacer, KTSA Time Saver Traffic.
This report is sponsored by Allstate. Some people just know you could save money on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Those people are probably saving a carload of cash right now. So what are you waiting for? Check Allstate first for a quote today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Davis Law Firm secures important verdicts and settlements for Texans hurt in a car, truck, or 18-wheeler wreck. Many in the millions of dollars. No case is too big or too small. And remember, there's no fee unless we win. So if you want more, call the Fours. Davis Law Firm San Antonio, 444-4444.
Jackson Hewitt makes taxes feel like a yacht rock song.
April breeze, give me my biggest tax refund, please. You, me, and a lifetime accuracy guarantee.
And now get $100 just to try Jackson Hewitt. Does your tax person do that?
Say goodbye to that no guarantee tax guy.
Ready to sail through tax season? Go to Jackson Hewitt and you'll be...
Limited time offer for new
clients. Participating locations only. Terms at jacksonhewitt.com.
On Super Sunday, you could be the crunch time hero. PorkRinds.com is bringing you a game-changing twist to your big day because it's also Pork Rind Appreciation Day. The crispy, crunchy, crave-worthy snack you love deserves its moment. PorkRinds.com is celebrating by giving you a chance to win tickets to the 2026 big game in Santa Clara. Enter at PorkRinds.com and become your own crunch time hero. This Super Sunday, make sure your snack game is on point. Celebrate Pork Rind Appreciation Day. Get in on the action at PorkRinds.com.
Hey, this is Rob Thompson here for my good friends over at Prize Picks. It is now or never. The big game is almost here. Don't miss out on the last big one of the season. And Prize Picks is the absolute best place to win cash while watching the big game. And I'm talking about serious cash, 1,000 times your money. And it is so easy to do. And on top of that, we've got money for you. Just check out the promos tab to tail any of our super sweet Millie winners. Big game lineups, you can get them. If you tail a lineup that goes 3 for 3, you can win up to $1 million. That's part of the promo finds. That's why you go to Prize Picks. I'll tell you what, you want some cash? Use the code Alamo. You get $50 instantly after you play your first game. That's a $5 lineup with 2 times the money. Let's go play Prize Picks. You've been putting it off all year long, or you've been playing along with the other 10 million. Prize Picks is the place to be. Go run your game.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health San Antonio will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 210-615-7777. That's 210-615-7777. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
If you missed the Blitz with Jason and Joe, then you missed this.
They've got great food here at the Root Pub.
You forgot about the bison burger.
I didn't forget about it necessarily, no, but a chicken sandwich sounded better than a beef sandwich. Does that make sense?
Well, no, because bison isn't necessarily beef.
Well, so what would another word for bison be? I mean, you don't say I want a cow burger. Give me the similar to beef burger. Think they know what I'm talking about?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Right home with the Blitz. Afternoons 2 to 6 on 94.1 San Antonio's Sports Star. It's the Morning Huddle with A.J. Hoffman and Rob Thompson.
Oh, Katie. Sipping gin and juice. She's
trying to cheer you up, man.
Yeah. It's going to be tough, man.
I know.
It's going to be tough.
You should have been playing some Taylor Swift.
No, I didn't need that today.
Katy Perry.
No, I thought about that. I was like, no.
It's like that, yeah, it's not right.
Right.
It's not right. But thank you. Yeah. All right. Let's see what's going on outside the world of sports. I don't know if you knew that there was life outside.
I'm painfully aware of what's going on in the outside world.
What's going on in your world?
I mean, just everything.
Oh,
nothing.
Just happiness,
particular.
right?
Nothing in particular. I know the price of coffee might go up here soon.
What? Why?
There's something about us and the Colombians.
Oh, you drink Colombian coffee?
I don't drink any coffee.
Oh, good.
Well, I do. I'm not sure what I drink here can be defined.
I don't think that's
it may
coffee.
be in the broadest sense this is coffee.
I don't think that's coffee.
I mean, there's something vaguely akin to it, but what we're drinking ain't coffee, so I guess it won't affect us.
I don't drink that. When you are an adult...
Well, I can't answer any questions then. That's a precursor.
And you host a house party with over 100 juveniles.
I think I know this story.
And many of them are drinking and partying. That's bad. Now, what makes it worse is when you're a school principal.
Well, you're providing a familial kind of environment.
Yeah, I don't think that's...
The students that party with their principal.
Now, to be fair, she's not the high school principal. She's the elementary school principal.
What a cool principal she was.
Oh, yeah. Now, these kids were high school kids. How great would it be if there was a bunch of like elementary school kids over the principal's house getting wrecked?
Their own trash can punch.
And
they were juice boxes.
If you're going to have a party with a bunch of underage kids, maybe don't get them all matching T-shirts to commemorate the party. I don't know. They're still...
Was there a reason why she was hosting the party? Did she have a dog in the fight, a child that was there, or was she just a really cool principal?
I think she likes to party. She was probably trying to...
Oh, that was the next step.
You know.
That's all. You never know. So does she still have a job? That's the worst sound. That is literally the worst sound in the world.
I'm guessing that was her goal, was to
make that sound.
That's the other T-shirt.
That's right. Yeah. That's right.
Was that in Florida, by the way? I think it was.
Yeah.
Good.
Of course it was. What kind of
Seminole County?
What kind of question was that?
Was it in Seminole or Orange County? That'd be the perfect place for it.
A Michael Jackson movie is delayed, and you'll never guess why.
The star's dead?
No. It's being delayed by a decades-old legal agreement with a molestation accuser.
Okay.
There's going to have to be reshoots of key scenes depicting the boy's family. It was only the agreement only came to light after principal photography had wrapped on the project, and it looks like now an agreement has been shown to the movie maker saying, hey, you're not allowed to have me in this movie.
So it was an agreement that involved anonymity of the alleged.
And
they didn't realize that?
If I were doing a movie about the life of Michael Jackson, I would probably first realize there's probably a lot of agreements that have been made that none of this ever gets talked about. There's a lot of NDAs that have been signed.
Oh, I'm reading about this, and this NDA was worth $20 million, and they just about violated it?
Yeah.
Oh!
Whoa. I don't know.
Yeah.
They're going to reshoot that one. Are we ready for a Michael Jackson movie? Do we really want this? I'm not sure we want this.
Too late.
I think we need some more time.
I think I'm the only one who is my age that wasn't. I was never a big Michael Jackson guy.
Go 10 years earlier, because from 83, and it was 82, there was a very particular moment on national TV when Michael Jackson came out, and I think it had something to do with Motown Awards, and he moonwalked on national TV, and I think it was like 1982, and the world changed.
I remember
the world. Everything changed at that moment. Well, we went from 70s disco or whatever it was, and then suddenly Michael Jackson moonwalked, and it was Michael Jackson, and then Thriller came out, and MTV came out, and the world changed. He was still kind of a hero up until, and then we just stopped talking about it. We were like, he was molesting kids and that whole drug thing that he's been put under by some sort of anesthesia that is for major surgery, and we just zip. He died, and it's over. We're not going to talk about it. Every now and then we'll play one of his songs, and there's been a kind of a slow growth. But are we ready to see what he did? This freak did? I'm not sure we're ready for this.
I don't know.
I don't want to know.
You have convinced me, and I'm probably going to start it today, in fact, to watch American Primeval.
Oh, dude, do it.
There's one good basketball game on tonight, and it's a late game with Iowa State and Arizona.
Iowa State's stumbling around. They need this game.
Well, remember, Iowa State, they came all the way back and blew out Arizona State in a game they were getting crushed in, and it's going to be a good game tonight between them and Arizona.
I think they've lost 2 straight.
No, they won.
Did they beat them?
They came back and won that game this weekend.
Who did they just lose? Anyway, go ahead.
But that American Primeval, I'm going to get into that. The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
They probably are not happy with this movie.
They are calling the series, quote, dangerously misleading, and says it completely mischaracterizes Brigham Young, the LDS prophet. The show follows a group of LDS pioneers trying to survive the American frontier during the Utah War of 1857. And the show depicts an event known as the Mountain Meadows Massacre, where local Mormon militiamen, aided by American Indians, massacred about 120 immigrants traveling by wagon to California. Now, a statement from the church says, while historical fiction can be illuminating, this drama is dangerously misleading. Brigham Young, a revered prophet and courageous pioneer, is by any historical standard egregiously mischaracterized as a villainous, violent fanatic. Other individuals and groups are also depicted in ways that reinforce stereotypes that are both inaccurate and harmful. They also said that they have long acknowledged and condemned the tragedy while promoting healing and unveiling the truth of the event. Added the deceptive, graphic, and sensationalized storytelling hides reality and hinders genuine understanding, but can foster animosity, hate, and even violence.
Just own it. We're not saying you did it last night. This happened back in the 1850s.
Right.
They were wrong, and own it. Just own it. Yeah, we're ashamed of that one. We took a left turn there. Hopefully over the last 140 years, we've kind of done our best to get away from that. But yeah, we did that. We're not proud of it.
Yeah, so they are not pleased with the Netflix.
I'll tell you what, the depiction of Brigham Young is just slightly above slime. I mean, dude,
boy.
There's not a good picture of the LDS church in this one.
He was evil.
And finally, the latest on movies. The number one movie in the world. No, unfortunately. It should be. Should be. Flight Risk.
And what is that?
That's exactly what I said. I said, huh? Flight Risk? Mark Wahlberg's movie.
He has a movie.
Directed by Mel Gibson.
Well, he's back with a vengeance, isn't he?
I didn't even know this movie existed.
I'm Googling it right now.
So this is their second number one opening of the year. $12 million it's made. I really had no idea that there was a movie about this. Gibson is... This is, he did Passion of the Christ and Apocalypto, not Apocalyptico, Apocalypto. So he had
nobody saw it.
Yeah, I don't know anyone who saw that either.
There was no English. It was all.
But yeah, this thing is I had no idea this movie even existed. It released this weekend and it's number one movie in the country.
It's got Topher Grace in it, and every time I see that guy, I want to punch him in the face.
I don't like people named Topher. I've never met a person named Topher that I like.
Something about him, I just want to punch him. And now your name is Topher on top of that?
I won't be friends with someone named Topher. I can tell you that right now.
We also, Wahlberg is bald. He shaved it. He went all in on this part. He's a method actor.
Yeah, or a meth head actor.
He left the...
Not a meth head actor.
Well, that's part of the role.
Yeah, he's got like a he's not bald, it's like a he looks like Costanza.
Yeah, he went he went all in. Well, you can't go full, you got to go half. But it'll be on Netflix next week, so I'm not in any rush.
I'm got a feeling it's coming to Netflix in the
If Gladiator 2 is already on
streaming,
this thing will be next week.
It's no Nosferatu. What a movie that
we got Captain America coming up in a couple weeks, and Harrison Ford is Red Hulk. Yeah, that's all I needed to hear.
Do you watch those superhero movies?
James Pledger got me in on the Marvel universe. I never read comic books. I wasn't that guy. But once I met Pledger about 8 years ago, and the Marvel thing was really kind of kicking into gear, I got into it.
Okay.
I've never read any of the stuff.
Have you seen all of the movies?
By default, only ones I haven't seen are like the peripheral ones. Like I haven't seen the Ant-Man or whatever the hell that is. I don't care about that crap. But for the most part, the big characters, I've seen them all. I enjoy them.
Yeah. I've seen most of them. I'll probably watch that Captain America too. Vic, you don't like superheroes, right? You only like Star Wars.
Yeah, I'm just a Star Wars guy.
Yeah, superheroes are for nerds.
Yeah.
I said that until what's her name? Plays Black Widow.
Oh, Scarlett Johansson.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah.
I mean, I can be a nerd and enjoy that. Although, again, the worst noise in the world.
Scarlett Johansson.
Now I can't even think of it. Whenever I see her, I'm going to think of Colin Jost and that sound.
Yes. Yes. All right. Let's take our last break of the day. Rob and I need to relax and reset before we take a look at the daily lines. And guess what, Rob? We'll talk some hockey. Morning Huddle 94.1.
Milo's Rewards Week is coming, and it's kind of a big deal. Members, get ready for 7 days of up to 40% off store-wide on hundreds of items. Save on the top brands in bath, tools, paint, and more. Our biggest member deals are on January 30th through February 5th. So if you're not a loyalty member, now's the time to join for free. Lowe's knows home improvement. Loyalty program subject to terms and conditions. Details at lowes.com/terms. Subject to change.
In Texas, your spouse can claim alimony after just 10 years of marriage. Do you know your countdown? Because I guarantee you, she does. I'm Gary Barton with Barton & Associates. If you're considering divorce, then contact Barton & Associates today at texasdivorce.com. That's texasdivorce.com.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it. Did you know that 1 in 4 people seeking treatment for ED are under 40? So you're not alone. And even better, HIMS can help. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs at up to 95% less than the brand names when you get started at hims.com/joy. It all starts with an online intake form. From there, a medical provider licensed in your state will determine if ED treatment is right for you. Through hims.com, you can access a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Millions of men experience ED, but HIMS can help. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. hims.com/joy.
You've decided to divorce. I'm attorney Steve Benke. If you're worried about getting the bills paid, childcare, and your divorce, we'll help make it simple, painless, and affordable.
Your future matters. Call the law office of Steve Benke.
Call 210-DIVORCE or go to BenkeLaw.com.
Flight by Yingling is the next generation of light beer. For those who don't follow trends, but craft them. Flight by Yingling is 12 ounces of uncompromised refreshment from America's oldest brewery. With only 2.6 grams of carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Don't just raise a glass, raise the bar. Flight by Yingling. Available wherever beer is sold. DG Yingling and Son Incorporated, Pottsville, Pennsylvania. Please enjoy responsibly.
Joe, I've invented the perfect exercise machine. It's practical, efficient, and fits in any home. I give you the Row and Go. Ta-da! It's a rowing machine that connects to your toilet, so you can row and...
Stop. Folks at Quarter Moon Plumbing, Heat, and AC will help homes stay in tip-top shape. Call Quarter Moon 651-5899.
Quarter Moon Plumbing, Heat, and AC, 210-651-5899.
License number M16004, TACLA 141074E.
Rise and hot!
It's the 94.1 San Antonio Sports Stars 50K Big Game Giveaway.
You asked for it, you got it!
Predict the exact score of the big game in New Orleans, and you could score $50,000. Make your predictions now at sasportstar.com.
I like this kind of party!
The 50K Big Game Giveaway, brought to you by Deets Tractor. Score big with Deets Tractor in Seguin and 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
This is Jason Minix from The Blitz. You're listening to 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
For sure, one-hit wonder, huh?
Yeah.
Bucket on glass.
You want it all.
But you can't have it. You could touch it and smell it. You want it all, but you can't have it. Oh, I thought you said it's in your face, but you can't grab it. But that's the second time, right?
Yeah.
Hey, who was our winner for the mellow mushroom?
Edwin, let me look. Let me see what Edwin put in there.
Freedom Ride said he saw Wolfman. It was okay. I would watch Wolfman.
Yeah, that looked. We saw the preview set. It looked pretty good, actually.
It's probably not better than Nosferatu.
Nothing could be.
But it does have that gal from Ozark in it.
Yeah. Manuel Gonzalez, the winner.
She looks like a Muppet.
Manuel Gonzalez. Yeah, I'm not attracted to her, but
she's a good actor.
I think she's good.
But she looks like a Muppet.
Yeah, she's crazy looking. She does.
So does you know who else looks like a Muppet? Aquafina. That's a Muppet. It's a human Muppet.
Aquafina.
Oh, Google it. She looks like a human Muppet.
Every time I see her, I always think of her yelling, you don't know S about F.
Oh.
And she says, "You're going to have to kill me!"
Yeah. She does.
I like her. Aquafina. Like, spelled like the water?
I don't think so. I think there's probably a Z in there.
This one?
Yeah, there she is.
Aqua. A-W-K.
She looks and sounds like a human Muppet.
American actress and comedian.
And Muppet. And well-known human puppet.
What the hell? I've never even seen this gal before.
She's got a vibe.
Oh, she's from Crazy Rich Asians.
Oh, she was before that.
Oh, well, I don't know, Rob. I don't know Aquafina.
Saying. There are 3 aliens living amongst us. She's one of them.
And the gal from Ozark. I don't even know her name.
And then Benedict Cumberbatch, also a Muppet. Also a human facsimile.
Yeah. What about Topher?
Topher's just a...
yeah.
I don't know, man.
Yeah, you know
I hate that type.
The type named Topher?
Yeah.
I feel you on that.
You mean Chris Topher?
I feel you on that. All right, let's do what we always do around this time. Take a look at the daily lines.
It's the Morning Huddle's look at the daily lines with AJ and Rob on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
You covered, yeah!
Daily Lines brought to you by SA Card House, San Antonio's premier card house located at 281 and Bitters. All right.
Early Super Bowl numbers?
Early Super Bowl number. Here it is. Kansas City Chiefs, 1.5-point favorites against the Philadelphia Eagles. Total of 49.5.
That 49.5 might be a number worth watching, but that 1.5 feels right. I don't know which way it's going to go.
It's so tough for me because before yesterday, I was really kind of starting to be out on the Eagles. Remember all season long I was saying the Eagles are the best team in the NFC, better than the Lions.
Mm-hmm.
And then I saw 2 playoff games and I was going, maybe I was wrong. Maybe the Eagles aren't that good. And then yesterday, they were awesome. If that Eagles shows up, this is going to be a good game.
No, that's not going to happen.
Then the Chiefs are going to cover.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, there's such a disparity in quarterback play. The one thing that we keep talking about over and over, we're going to hear a lot of reasons why Philadelphia's, and I might end up believing them by the time they play the game. But going into it, the same axiom applies. The better quarterback wins the game if the team will play with him. You know, if the team will come along with him, the better quarterback will win the game. And he is so far ahead of Jalen Hurts that if his team's coming along with him, he's going to win the game. And by a point and a half,
credit where it's due. Jalen Hurts was very good yesterday.
Yes. But he has to come along with his team. It's not the same thing. It's the other way around. His team has to be great for him to measure up. He's not going to be capable of lifting Saquon in that offensive line to 200 yards rushing.
The Super Bowl MVP odds. Your favorite?
Wow.
Shocking development.
Yeah.
Patrick Mahomes plus 110.
If they win it, he gets it. There's no question.
Your second favorite, Saquon Barkley plus 250.
Is it possible? No, it's been since the Cowboys back in the early 70s with a linebacker for an MVP on a losing team. But if Saquon goes off and has that kind of day and they still don't win, I don't know how you quantify MVP.
I don't think so.
Because it's only Chuck Howley's the only loser to win it. But
Jalen Hurts 3-1, Kelsey 15-1, Worthy 25-1, AJ Brown 28-1, Kareem Hunt 50-1.
the only way most of those guys succeed is if their quarterback is also successful.
Besides Barkley.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So all those other guys are discounted. You got 2 quarterbacks and a running back. That's your 3 possibilities.
I mean, when Matt Stafford won the Super Bowl, Cooper Kupp got the MVP.
There's no Cooper Kupp running around out there. You know what I mean? Literally, everybody who could get that award will be there because of the success of their quarterback.
No, I think,
you know what I mean?
You're right. I think you're right. Yeah, there's no value in Patrick Mahomes being the MVP, but chances are if the Chiefs win, he's almost a lock to be the MVP. Unless it's like maybe so Chris Jones is 55-1. Maybe there's like some sort of game-wrecking performance, but that's what it would take.
Mm-hmm.
It would take someone, and usually if you're going to be the guy on defense, you have to force turnovers.
Well, if anybody wins MVP over Pat Mahomes on the Chiefs, it's a travesty. I don't care what happened. I don't care what. Chris Jones got 3 interceptions and 2 fumble recoveries. It's still they win the game because Pat Mahomes.
Nothing that happens to the Chiefs is a travesty. Lord.
It would be a travesty if he didn't get it.
Don't ever say that again. Travesty.
Travis Shamockery.
The poor Chiefs. Poor Chiefs. And if it was a travesty, they'd find a way to make money off of it by making a Travis-TY. And they would trademark, and they'd be like, "Oh, this is a Travis T." Yeah. Oh God, I'm already puking in my mouth. All right, the
Taylor Swift song.
The NBA today: Lakers are at the Hornets. The Lakers 5.5-point road favorites. 222.5.
Can we take a second and live just a little bit of love to J.J. Redick? I mean, we're almost halfway through this season, and the Lakers have had their issues, but those are kind of self-inflicted. But none of the issues have been because of J.J. Redick. He's been a better coach and monitored and handled the situation from little Bronny and that weird stuff to.
I'm so glad we're not hearing about Bronny
and
anymore.
The fact of the matter is, he's got Anthony Davis playing as good a basketball as he's ever played as the focal point of this offense, and he's got LeBron convinced that that's the best way to do it. I think Redick is a lifer. This guy was born to coach, and he's proven it.
They're in pretty solid standing these days. They are right now. If the playoffs were to start, they'd be safely in as the 5 seed. I wouldn't have thought that coming in.
Well, and it helps have LeBron. I'm not saying he's been great, but it could have been an utter train wreck.
Yeah, and we kind of had a feeling like I think we all knew the Jazz, Pelicans, and Blazers were going to be bad. Although I guess the Pelicans was so health dependent. If they had a full season of Zion, like that'll ever happen. But it was like the Lakers, I thought, were going to be one of those teams kind of battling with the Spurs and those types of teams, Spurs and the Kings. The Lakers are a good couple steps ahead of those teams.
And it helps to have LeBron. I'm not giving him all the credit, but this could have been an utter train wreck. It could have been, a fiasco with a variety of reasons behind it. And they've made deals. They've made trades. Pelinka didn't give him the best possibility of team build up or make up. So, respect to JJ.
The Detroit Pistons are taking on the suddenly reeling Cleveland Cavaliers. Cavs 10.5-point favorites. The Cavs have now lost 3 consecutive games for the first time this season. They've lost 5 of their last 10, which doesn't sound, horrible, but you realize that they were 31-4 before that run.
They played the Thunder, and the Thunder beat the doors off of them, and they haven't come back yet.
They got exposed, maybe. I don't know. I'm not sure what's going on. But they are 21-3 at home. They are tough to beat at home.
And right now, it's coming to the point where when you're playing Cleveland, you bring your A game because it's well established around the league. The players, the coach, everybody knows is the best team in basketball. I mean, they literally can bring it at you with 5 different players. So they're getting everybody's best game, and you have to get used to being that kind of team. And I don't think they're used to that yet.
The Rockets trying to become that team. They are 6.5-point dogs on the road in Boston.
They are playing good basketball right now. That 6.5 is a big number.
It is. They've won 8 of their last 10.
They're playing good.
I don't see why they can't cover a number like that. It does feel like a lot of points. The Grizz, they are catching 3.5 in Madison Square Garden against the Knicks. Total 241. The Grizzlies are a tough team for me to parse. They've now won 6 in a row, but it just feels I don't know why I'm not willing to think they would be the 3rd seed in the West right now. I don't know why I'm not thinking of them as like a top-level team.
You should. because they have everything required to win in the modern league. They're big down low. They can bring in Edie and Jaren Jackson. They play the 3-and-D game. They got 3 dudes that can hit threes whenever they're open. 3 different dudes, and I'm talking about Bane, Luke, whatever Luke Ridnour. No, not Luke Ridnour, but it's a kid from Duke. Came from the Clippers, and Ja, who is so you got 3 on the edge. You got 2 big posts. They've got every ingredient to win a title.
And I guess now with Ja, because that's what they were missing last year. I guess they were missing Ja,
Luke Kennard.
Luke Kennard. Oh yeah, missing Ja last year. It makes it.
It's going to be a matchup tonight.
That'll be good. The Knicks also playing good ball right now. They've won 3 straight, so should be a decent game. Kings are at the Nets. Kings 11-point favorites on the road. It's funny because the Nets aren't like the Wizards. I mean, the Nets
they kind of are.
They're bad, but I guess they're pretty damn bad.
They're kind of the Wizards.
They've now lost 6 straight. They've lost 9 of their last 10. They're trying to catch back up with the Wizards in the tankathon, it seems.
You know, another side of this coin, Doug Christie taking over from Mike Brown. Respect. I mean,
no
that
doubt.
team did a 180.
Yeah. The Orlando Magic take the long road trip to Miami. The Magic are 1.5-point favorites against the Heat. And the Heat are, all the eyes are on them. The Magic are starting to get healthy again finally. They got Wagner back. But Miami has to resuspend Jimmy Butler. And they got a win, but their win was against the Nets. So how seriously do we take it? I'm still in fade the Heat mode for the time being. I've got no interest in backing that Heat team. I think they're a disaster right now.
It is uncharted waters for Spoelstra to be. I mean, this is just not Miami Heat land at all, to have unmotivated players to fight through this. They're going to be okay. They're a playoff team, but they're going to have to extricate the cancer.
Pelicans 2-point favorites in Toronto.
I guess we know who's playing.
I never know who's playing. I mean, the Raptors just stink that bad, too.
There was a what's his name with the Athletic? Floated a trade that included C.J. McCollum and Brandon Ingram to the Spurs for some pieces and parts. Nothing really huge other than a first-round draft pick, and I think it had Keldon in there. And
okay. Deal.
Exactly, when we're looking at this situation.
Although right now, it almost, I don't know, anything with the Spurs adding to this almost feels like you're wasting.
I think over the weekend, everybody got a chance to look at the Spurs like the national media because it was the national game and it was in a weird time zone and you got to see Wemby and all the other NBA types. So people paid attention and looked at the Spurs and go, you know what? They're not far away. At least they saw that first game and went, you put C.J. McCollum on that team. That's a frightening team.
Then if they watched the second one.
Saturday game, you go, they need so much more than just C.J. McCollum.
This is a long way away. Nuggies -9.5 in Chicago.
They're feeling it. Nugs getting around. They're finding their depth.
Hawks +10 at Minnesota.
Stupid Hawks.
I don't want to lay 10 points with Minnesota right now, though, either. Here's a number. The Washington Wizards +12.5 in Dallas against a very shorthanded Mavericks team.
Yeah, man, I'm worried about. If you're a Maverick fan, Claymore, you need to be worried. What's his name? Broke his foot. Was it Lively?
Lively, yeah.
Dude, that is not quite a death blow, but he's the third most important guy on that team.
Yep. Bucks.
And Kleber's hurt too, right?
Yeah. Bucks laying 9 at the Jazz. And the L.A. Clippers -1.5 in Phoenix. Clippers road favorites at the Suns. That's a little surprising to me, but yeah, again, I'm not real thrilled with what's going on with the Suns right now.
The Suns are in chaos right now.
It does feel like a total mess. I almost went up to Dallas for the hockey game on Friday.
I saw the pre-game
I'm so
stuff.
glad I didn't. I would have been so pissed off.
The Stars kind of took care of business.
Knights lost. A bunch of losers. Look, it's all I cheer for is losers.
We need to start finding our hot goalie.
Yep. Devils -1.5 is at +160 against the Flyers. If you just want to bet the money line, -148. Kings -148 at the Red Wings. The Red Wings continue to be a terrible, terrible hockey franchise. Somehow, when I was a kid, like they were what?
They were it, yeah.
They were the team. They suck now. The Canucks and Blues. Canucks are at the Blues. Blues minus 122. Edmonton minus 298. Hosting the Seattle Kraken. And the Penguins minus 166 at the Sharks. The Sharks are they're not good at hockey. So that's probably even short for a road.
And they're in San Jose.
Yeah, San Jose is. They have, to put it in perspective, they're in last in the Pacific Division. They've got 34 points. The second worst team in the Pacific Division has 46 points. So they are the worst team in hockey, and it's not really even close. So now Penguins, they're not good. Not by any stretch, but they're way better than the Sharks.
Sharks and the Ducks. California, they don't care.
They don't. Although I think the Kings are pretty good. But yeah, the Sharks and Ducks, bad news. Bad. They're not sending their best. It's the California politics have started to trickle down into their hockey. It's very sad. Very sad.
I just learned something. I was today years old. So in hockey, in the East, you got your Atlantic and your Metropolitan Division.
Yeah. We just call it the Metro Division.
In the Metro. And in your West, we have your standard Central and Pacific.
Yeah.
Why? What, Metropolitan?
There used to be, I can't remember.
Only city teams like the Big East?
I can't remember what they used to call those divisions. The old division, like the old hockey divisions had weird, they were named after people.
Yeah, because they're all about 40 miles of each other.
Yeah. But yeah, the Metro Division, I don't know why they're called that. I'm not really sure.
Didn't know.
But all the East Coast teams are all in the same
Philly,
general
Pittsburgh,
area.
New York, Toronto, New Jersey. The Hurricanes, that's not Metro, but every other team I would say would be Metro.
But yeah, like New York and DC are in a different league than Boston.
Right.
That doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense. I guess you have to spread the talent.
And Buffalo, like the New York teams are in one, Buffalo's in another. Like what? Okay. I don't really understand it.
So
either.
we are officially in on hockey. It took all the way until January the 27th.
Yeah.
They're about 50 games in, or 30 games. Oh, no, 50 games in.
Yeah.
So we're rounding into form.
And we got a handful of games in the top 25 tonight. Michigan minus 8.5 hosting Penn State. Duke 21.5 favorites over NC State. That ought to be a bloodletting.
Yes.
And Iowa State is a 2.5-point dog at Arizona. Woo.
I'll tell you.
That's
Iowa State, they're not the same team they were a month ago. That doesn't mean they can't find it again.
Yeah, they lost that game to West Virginia. Then they followed it up with a beatdown of Central Florida, and a game they were down in to Arizona State. They ended up winning by 15 points.
That was at home too.
No, that was in Arizona. So short travel for Iowa State tonight. All right, we'll be back tomorrow. Blitz coming up at 2.
This is 94.1 San Antonio Sports.